Welcome to the Grumpy Guy BJJ podcast with your hosts James Wilson and Rob Eichhoff. We are here making friends and solving problems one podcast at a time.
All right, so we are back with either episode number 13 or episode number 14A if you're superstitious. But I am your co-host James Wilson here with my buddy Rob Eichhoff. How's it going, Rob?
Yo, it's going good, James. How about you, man?
Man, it's awesome. I got to say, dude, I missed you last week.
It was weird.
It was weird,
not
man.
doing the podcast.
Yeah. Like having my Grumpy Guy dump at the end of the week, I realize is like if I don't go to jiu-jitsu and get to choke people out for a little bit, I start to get a little antsy, and I realized my grumpiness factor was definitely a little higher without the ability to kind of have my grumpy dump. So yeah,
I noticed the same thing because, well, just being able to have these conversations, you get used to it. We've been doing it since October, 13, 14 weeks in, where we do it every week. And so you kind of get that feel of having like a long form conversation, disagreeing with about certain, we disagree about shit, but there's there's no like personal investment, No. If we disagree with something, it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And not like, I was hanging out with my family last week, and my brother and I, if we disagreed on something, dude, there's not like any sort of great conversation about it. It turns into insults immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if we disagree on something, like it instantly just goes to, you're a fucking idiot.
Right. It's all personal.
Yeah, it gets personal super fast. I'm like, well, wait a second.
What happened here, man?
What happened here?
We trying to talk.
Yeah, so I missed it.
Yeah. We've talked about that
I was grumpy also.
Yeah. It's hard to find
I've been grumpy all week. And I think partly because of that.
Yeah, man. Well, you'll be feeling better today, though, because Sensei's in town, old Pimenta.
Yeah.
You'll get to watch him whip up on Kevin a little bit, which always makes me feel a little bit better, seeing someone do to him what he does to me, which in itself is scary to think that, there's a black belt out there that can do to Kevin what he's doing to a freaking purple belt. And but yeah, man, that dude's outrageous.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to catching my ass whoopings.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this before the podcast. Like a guy like that, I mean, really, you learn so much just from watching him wrestle, just paying attention to what he's doing and just the little things. I mean, just watching him last night, I noticed something different he did with a leg lasso sweep. Just this tiny little detail, but it made a big difference in how easy it was for him to knock Kevin off his base and finish the sweep. And it's like, oh, so I run right over, and it was funny, like when they were done wrestling, I went and grabbed Kiele, and I'm like, come here real quick, I gotta check something. And Kevin's like, what'd you see, James? I was like, oh, nothing. I wanted to try it out first before I, said anything. But I couldn't quite figure it out. I was like, he did something to his lower leg to you, and he was like, yeah, showed me what was going on. But yeah, man, like I learned how to mount from watching him mount people. Like he never had like an official lesson. Like here's how you mount. But watching him do it over and over and over again, you're like, oh, that dude's doing something different than everyone else. And so yeah, I love having that dude in town, just getting to
when you're watching stuff like that up close, man. When you're sitting mat side and watching somebody at that level, dude, there's so many little lessons.
Consistently though, like there's a difference between going to like a tournament, right? Because we can go and we can watch, him wrestle at a tournament, but you only get to see a few matches, right? Like he's here and he's been here a few times. He's here, so we get to see him roll several rounds like every day, and so you get to see, like you're saying, it's what he's doing over and over and over that you get to pick up on. Yeah, it's really unique.
And what's really valuable too is that you get to wrestle with him, and then he does something to you, and you don't always get to see. You might have an idea, but then when you watch him wrestle with somebody else, and hopefully they get into that same position, and you see him do it to them, and you're like, that's it, dude. And that right there is priceless.
Yeah,
you can't replicate that. Yeah, in very few places.
Not that it helps you wrestling against him.
No,
but it definitely helps you wrestling against other people,
other mortals
for sure. I know. Yeah, I mean that's Kevin will be the first. He's first one to say it. Like, there's black belts and then there's black belts.
Right.
And, you know, there's just another level.
There's the black belts of the black belts.
Yeah. And so getting to interact with someone of his level has just been fucking invaluable for us. So, yeah, pumped he's in town. But
yeah, and if anybody's wondering, we're talking about Denelson Pimenta.
Yeah.
Look him up.
You know, he's kind of
top of the food chain.
Yeah. He's kind of our head coach, I guess. Like, you know, I call him sensei because it's that, you know, sensei is that like level. I don't know. There's
level
coach and all that.
Coach.
Yeah, you know, it's a different thing, man. Like, he's just a master on a certain level of what he does. And we're really, but yeah, he's, you know, because Rolly Delgado is another guy that we talk about on the podcast a lot. Is a good friend of ours in the gym, and he's got a gym in Little Rock, Arkansas, Westside MMA. So if you're in that area, definitely check them out there. But he's, you know, it's cool. Like, we've got, you know, that gym and Pimenta and us. And we've got like this little, you know, team that we're able to draw off of. Rolly comes up here and trains with us. You know, we meet him and his team when we go to tournaments and stuff. So it's cool. It's cool to have that.
Dude, it's so cool. And for me, like, my perspective of it is I moved to this little town of Grand Junction that we live in 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And when I first moved here, I was a 2-stripe blue belt. And I was the highest ranking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy in town that trained with the gi. There was one other guy in town that said he was doing Jiu-Jitsu, said he was a black belt, never put a gi on, so he's a black belt, no gi. And he wasn't. Like, the dude was not good at all.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like 10 years ago, dude, that was it.
I know. We've
talked about it. And I used to have to drive to Denver to, you know, train with high level guys. I mean, there's a lot of good wrestlers here in town. Wrestling's big in Colorado.
Yeah.
You know, so, but yeah, and now here we are 10 years later, and how many, because of Kevin, you know, like, you know, Kevin moved here, you know, I don't know how many years ago now. He's been here a few years. And because of him and the people he knew and the things he's willing to do, you know, he's very open-minded with jiu-jitsu and bring people in.
Yeah.
And, you know, so dude, that's because of him and the people that we've had come through and train with us is.
I know, dude, it's crazy, man.
It's crazy when you really think about it, man. Like, sometimes I take it for granted.
Yeah.
Until I really think about it, you know, it's a pretty special thing.
It is, man. Yeah, every time you turn around, it's like, oh, we got another. You know, I mean, throwing Lance, our buddy from Maryland, who comes here and trains. And so, yeah, between, you know, those three guys right there.
Lance, Rolly,
and Pimenta. All three of those guys come here at least once a year. Yeah. And plus Kevin gets other people coming through. Yeah, it's like every time you turn around, it's like, man, we got somebody else coming to town, which is awesome, man. I love it. It's such a great thing for our jiu-jitsu. But
it works out good, too, being that we live in a nice place.
Yeah.
People like to come here.
It's not like it's a freaking shithole.
Yeah, it's not a shithole. I mean, it's not the biggest tourist destination in the world, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And so people don't mind coming here.
It's
fairly easy to talk some high-level dude to come to Colorado.
It is Colorado, man. It's not like, it's not a terrible place.
No, it's not like Iowa. Sorry if you're from Iowa. Nebraska.
I'm sure they are, too. Sorry. I'm from Oklahoma originally, man, so I got no room to talk shit on anybody from where they're from. But, so cool, man. So, I don't know, I had a couple little pre-show notes here. One,
I got some pre-show shit. Well, before we get into pre-show, what we're talking about, we're going to be talking about cardio training.
Cardio training in today's episode.
And I already think, just from some of James's comments pre-podcast, that we might have some good disagreements today. Yeah. And what's bad though is like I like having these disagreements, but I feel like I'm about to fight Musashi, and he's got a sword or an oar that's just a little bit longer. And I feel like I'm coming in with a little bit of a disadvantage because I come at it from a little more just bro science and personal experience.
Yes.
And I have a feeling you're going to come charged with a little more like studies to back and this and that, and more. You've got more coaching experience. So I do feel your order might be a little longer, but fuck it, man. I'm bringing the heat.
No,
I figure if I swing my shorter oar harder,
that's it.
May defeat the longer oar.
Exactly. You usually make up for it with strength, right?
That's right. When technique fails, fucking rely on strength.
Fucking go for an ankle lock
as hard as you can. That's right. Fucking can't pass a guard. Fucking go for a leg lock.
That's right, man. There's I definitely do have some good perspective. I mean, the other thing is I've studied a lot of it. I've just invested a lot of time and money and studying under some of the best with this stuff. So I think, here's the thing with that I really, I like talking with you because, we've talked about this before, we both believe in the idea of meritocracy. That's why you and I don't start calling each other names, because we realize, like, these are just our ideas and we're just, like, exchanging ideas. But holy shit, I lost my train of thought.
Exchanging ideas, experience, training under people.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, man, yeah.
No, you're good.
So the thing I like about you is we've got a lot of the same thoughts on stuff. And sometimes I think it's kind of like the Steve Maxwell thing. I've talked to you about mobility. I've talked about all that stuff before, and you knew about it. You know what I mean? And Steve Maxwell was able to make the pieces click together for you in a way that took what you already knew and allowed you to use it better, right? And so, like, you've got, like, a lot of these tools. So, like, our disagreements aren't really, like, they're not major disagreements. They're kind of details. And I
think that may be where we fall today. I think, like, probably broad spectrum will probably agree out here.
Yeah.
Then as we refine down,
they'll
be like, well, I think this and
maybe
this and
method or whatever.
When you were saying that, I just started thinking too. I think it's really akin to. It wasn't that what Steve, like, you've talked about mobility before, and we've done mobility shit together before, and it didn't really sink in or really hit home until I went to that Maxwell seminar. I think this probably has something to do with the idea, like, the people closest to you are the hardest ones to get to change.
Yeah.
For, like, we've talked about it, like, nutrition. Like, in your family, from the sounds of it, it's a lot like my family. Like, they got their ways. They're set in their ways. We tend to be the healthier ones in our different families. And so we try to teach our family members these ideas and principles of, like, hey, man, try this might be healthier. And they're never going to fucking listen.
Right.
They just don't. They're just not going to listen. They're the ones closest to you. They just think you're a dummy or whatever.
Yeah.
But people that you're not super close to, I don't know if they have just more respect for you, and they're going to take what you say a little bit more serious. I think that's kind of where it is, because I've known you for quite a while, and we've had a lot of conversations, so you tell me shit, and I'm like, I don't know, fucking James is a little crazy sometimes. But then Steve Maxwell tells me something, I'm like, oh, that guy's got it. But you guys told me the exact same thing.
Right.
So I got a feeling that might be kind of...
No, there's definitely something to it.
That circle of influence,
I always, like, I hate using this example because, I don't want to compare myself. I'm not in any way comparing, myself or anybody to Jesus. But, man, even in the Bible, Jesus said, like, you can't get, like, he didn't get respect in his own village. They were like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, this is the carpenter's son that we all knew. Like, I mean, it was...
That's the exact same idea.
It's literally it, man. I mean, it is literally a biblical idea that you have trouble, the people closest to you are the ones that have trouble seeing you beyond how they know you, and they know all of your faults and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's like the joke in the fitness industry. If I put on a seminar here in Grand Junction, I'm just some local yahoo and no one shows up. I go over one town over and do a seminar. Oh, I'm some out-of-town expert. And all of a sudden, I've got 15, 20 people showing up. I've had it happen all the time. I go to, like, Maryland to do a thing at Lance's, and I get, 20 people showing up. I do stuff here all the time when I had my facility. I mean, I couldn't get 5 people to show up to a free seminar. So there's definitely something to that, which is, again, why it's good to go around and get exposed to different ideas and different people. And, man, even with, like, your jiu-jitsu, I think there's a lot of stuff. You get somebody coming, like Pimenta, and it's like, oh, okay. I can't even tell you how many times I'm like, all right, I know you've told me that before, Kevin, but, like, something about seeing that or, like, a little detail helped it click. And so it's not necessarily like, not that I don't respect Kevin and listen to him, but
it's funny. I really wonder what it is. I wonder if it's because you get to know somebody, and so they don't seem as special, even though we surround ourselves with some pretty special people in different aspects of life. But once you get to know them and you see they're just human, to you, like, so what they're doing is not that special.
Right.
It's just human shit. It's just normal stuff.
Yeah.
But when you don't know the person, you kind of put them up on this pedestal, and all of a sudden what they know is so much better.
I know, man.
God, where did I read this or heard it? and somebody said that, you think you're an enlightened person, like you're on this path to spiritual growth or just a growth. You just have this growth mindset. Well, just go visit your family for a week, and you turn right back into an asshole.
Yeah, God, dude, it's so hard.
Yeah, you do. Like, I love my family. I'm not saying I'm a worse person for being around my family, but you just go right back.
Oh, it's so hard to not get sucked
into your own family shit. It's funny, like, because you go in with this like, oh, I'm trying to better myself here, and then your mom just looks at you and rolls her eyes like, okay, Robbie, good luck. Go eat some brownies.
Or the name calling thing, next thing you know, like, why am I calling? What am I arguing? What the fuck is going on here? I've just wasted half an hour. And
it's funny.
I know,
man.
If
you think you're enlightened, just go visit family for a weekend.
Family is definitely.
It's funny.
They're good. Speaking of which, man, how was Texas? That was on my pre-show notes, man. Is it still there?
Texas was Texas. Not necessarily a fan of Texas. Sorry for Texans out there.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't go around and fucking. I've been there a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But seeing the family was good.
Yeah.
It was cool. My brother lives there. My mom and dad flew out from Michigan, so we had a little family shindig.
Nice, man. Did you guys do anything or just hang out around your dad?
Man, we just hung out, dude. We just hung out at my brother's house. He's got my little nephew's like 16 months old. Yeah. So he's starting to be like a little human.
You're telling me you're teaching him to flex.
Yeah, I got him flexing his muscles and shit, man. So he's fun because last time I was there, he was still just like a baby.
Yeah,
he's not doing a whole lot. They just kind of hang out and shit themselves and cry, Yeah. But now he's up. He's mobile. He's up getting into stuff, and so it's more fun for Uncle Rob trying to corrupt him,
Right? Yeah.
So that was good, man. Like, I miss family. You don't, because I don't have any family out here.
Yeah.
And so you go. It kind of puts you in a weird mental state because you go visit family and you're like, oh, you realize how much you love them and you miss them. And then I come back home and my dog was gone because I had somebody watching him. So I come back into this quiet house and I'm like, man, this kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I'm calling up the person who's got my dog. Like, hey, bring my fucking dog home, man.
Yeah.
I need some interaction here.
Dude, I mean, it's fucking that Tribe's book, Sebastian Junger's book, talks about that, man. Like, people just aren't really made for isolation. It's not what our deal is. But as someone on the opposite end of the spectrum who has all of my family living around me, I can tell you the other end definitely has its pluses and minuses
to it.
But
there's a buffer zone there.
Great.
There's a buffer zone. I'm not sure what the perfect buffer zone is.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But
whatever.
Cool, man. Yeah, no, I lived in Tyler, Texas before I moved here, and being from Oklahoma, I've spent a bunch of time down there, so I know how it is. It's very flat and windy, and
it was pretty warm. But shit, it's been warm here, man.
Yeah, it's been a nice winter, man.
I'm gonna go hiking this weekend, I think.
Yeah, it's been like the second best winter since I moved here. This is what everybody told me it was going to be like before I moved here. Like, I literally had several people who didn't know each other tell me before I moved here, oh yeah, the winters here are great. Maybe like 2 weeks a year we'll get some snow, but it's pretty mild and blah, blah, blah. And then I move here, and it's just inversion city, man. You were like, I remember one year, the year they had the Super Bowl in New York. Right, and everyone was, I know you're not a sports guy, but, the big thing was like it was an outdoor stadium and they're having the Super Bowl in New York in February, and there was this big like, what's going to happen if the weather's just totally shit? And it ended up not being too bad, and I'm sitting there watching the Super Bowl, and it's like, 40 degrees in New York, and we're like negative 20 with an inversion in here in Grand Junction. I'm like, what is going on here? This is stupid. Like, if anyone told me it got that fucking cold here before I moved here, I probably would not have moved here. So I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I'm glad I live here. I love being here. But yeah, dude, like, some winters, it gets fucking ridiculously cold here.
We live in the mountains, man. You're gonna get some shit once in a while.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I tell people, like, the Indians would have been fucking gone. You know what I mean? Only the white man's dumb enough to just be like, I don't matter how hot it is or how cold it is. Like, I'm fucking just toughing it out. I'm staying right here, boy. That's how it goes. And it's like, Indians were like, it's fucking cold. Let's go somewhere warmer. It's fucking hot. Let's go somewhere cooler. It's like, makes sense. But, man, that's funny. Texas is one of those places. Like, Tyler, I was like, what the fuck made someone just stop their wagon here and say, this is it? This is it. This is as good as it gets.
The wagon broke.
Yeah,
like the wagon broke. They stopped.
There's no reason to go any further, folks. This is it. This is it. We're gonna stay here, and this is where it's at. Like, what possessed someone to stop in some of these places? Like, Grand Junction is different. It's beautiful here. There's definitely a lot of stuff going on, but there are some places, man, where you're just like, what the fuck? was the person who stopped here and founded this town thinking? Like, there are much better places to go than here. But anyway, so there you go. Now that we've insulted many people and where they live. But.
Speaking of that, that'll jump right into one of my pre-show things. So, not that I'm going to insult more people. So, I listen to all our podcasts because I'm new to this. So, I want to, I'm learning. It's basically watching like game tape, Yeah. And so I listen to all these just to pick up on a little stupid shit I do to try to fix. Try to make sure I don't say anything too derogatory or upsetting. And I'm usually pretty good. But I did catch myself, I think during our nutrition podcast, we were talking about kimchi. And the first time I said it, it wasn't too bad. I said something to the effect of like, hey, get yourself a good Korean friend, have him make you some kimchi. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think so. No. If you're Korean and you're offended by that, I'm sorry. But then I said it basically the same way. Again, a few minutes later in the conversation, but I didn't use the word friend on the end. So all I said was, get yourself a good Korean and tell him to make you some kimchi. I heard that and I was like, oh my God, that sounds so terrible. So please, anybody listening, if you heard that, man, like,
dude, you can't start editing yourself. This is a PC-free zone, man.
I know.
Anyone who's offended by that can fuck off.
That's exactly how I feel, but... Dude, I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, man.
No, I know what you
I felt pretty bad. I was like,
God, that's funny, man. I forget what it was. My either Kiele or something. There, like there's a Chinese massage place in the mall here. She likes to go get the chair massage, and I forget how the Christmas request came across, but it was like gift certificate for a Chinese massage or something like that, or Chinese person massage or something. And I was like, oh my God, that's like, it was kind of the same thing. It was like, anyways, it could be taken, if you took it out of context, it could sound insulting, but it's like, it's really kind of funny because you're just saying shit fast and not thinking.
Yeah, and I heard that. And like I said, I obviously had no ill intent towards anybody, man. As long as you're a nice person and you're not a lazy fuck, I don't care where you came from, what you look like. It makes no difference.
No.
And so when I heard that, I was like, oh, dude. No. So anyways, I apologize to any of my Korean friends out there. If you're friends with me, you know.
Now, see, the thing that I would be insulted about is like you're insinuating that only Koreans can make it.
Well, it's a kimchi thing. No, it's a Korean thing.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like.
So now you're just trying to fuck
me. I am, man. Like, you're saying like white people can't do it, like.
Not as good as Koreans can.
I know. See, dude.
But is
now we're back on track, brother.
But is that
no.
That's racist towards white people, saying they can't make kimchi properly. That's saying if you want good kimchi, go find yourself a good Korean to make you some kimchi.
Well, what if you're a white person who identifies as a Korean?
Then that's a different conversation.
I think you'd be able. I don't know. We'll have to get into that later.
I don't know.
Anyways, all right. Now that we're way off the tracks on.
Well, that was still on the tracks.
Yeah.
That was like I wrote in my pre-show notes, racist comment. So I that way I made sure to issue my formal apology to the world.
Okay.
I felt bad. I feel better now.
It's like I can see you didn't want Kim Jong-il or whatever his fucking name is to nuke us. What was that?
If he listens to this, that would be so awesome.
You seen that South Park where is it Butters? Yeah. Somehow something gets down and Trump is tweeting back and forth
with Kim Jong-un.
And like somehow Butters is in the middle and they're like talking shit like Butters says that, you know what I mean? It's like
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's what's gonna happen.
Dude, if we get piped into North Korea, we are a success.
Yes.
If someone in North Korea is listening to us, I would be so stoked.
Do you think they got jiu-jitsu in North Korea?
That's a good question, man.
Whoa, that's a
Brazilian jiu-jitsu in North Korea?
Wow. That's an interesting question.
It is.
I'll bet. God, what do you think?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is pretty big in Korea. I mean, big. I guess I've never been there, but there's plenty of Korean schools.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That is a good question.
Would it be like an underground? I can't believe there's like a jiu-jitsu studio. No. Like obviously, like the Gracies haven't gone and fucking set up.
They're not getting high level dudes to come in for seminars.
Right. Yeah. So but yeah, dude, I'd have to believe that somewhere there's a fucking garage with some mats and some dudes trying to triangle each other.
I don't know, man. The place is pretty sketchy.
Dude, I
because they limit what they get to see on the internet.
I know.
They get special internet,
but dude,
so I mean, if they Google triangle choke, I mean, it's probably going to come up Kim Jong-un doing some move on a guard.
Yeah,
you know, he's teaching him his own.
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
Man, that'd be interesting. If anybody has any fucking info on that, please let us know, because I don't know why I'm suddenly interested to know.
It's a good question.
It is a good question, man.
That'll be our topic for next week.
Like in a country where, everything's controlled.
Maybe that's why you see that clip came out a few months ago, that dude trying to escape North Korea.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was crazy, man. Like, they showed him driving in his vehicle, and the guard started shooting at him, and he got out of his vehicle. I mean, it was all like night vision or some shit. But then he takes off running from his vehicle to the wall, to like the line, to try to get into South Korea. And he got shot like 10 times. He lived. And then the some South Korean guards came and drug him over the border. Maybe he was the dude in his garage teaching jiu-jitsu, and they found him out, man.
Man, I don't know.
He was the only guy.
Jesus. God, that is insane, dude. Yeah. That's insane to think like that.
This 2018, that shit still exists.
Yeah, man. Like, we live in this cushy little environment, and like that. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, it's such an illusion. Man, it's such an illusion. This illusion of safety, this illusion of that we live in, because like for most of human history, like that has not been the reality for most people, and it is, man. It's and every once in a while you get jolted out of it. You have something that unfortunately, some tragedy that shows you, like, dude, like, you can, when you walk out the door, you really don't know. You don't know. And like, most of us are lucky enough to live in a country where odds are really good nothing's going to crazy happen. But to pretend like it's your God-given right is insane. And to not appreciate it is really crazy. And I don't think that a lot of us do, because that's why we bitch and moan so much. If anything goes wrong, it's like, instead of being like, wow, I can't believe this shit doesn't, happen more often. Like, we live in a fucking pretty sane
But look at how
place.
Look how pissed off I got a few weeks ago when my iPad fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
Screwed up our recording of a podcast.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off, dude. I was pissed off for like 3 days about that.
That's funny, man. Yeah,
it is. It's perspective.
It is perspective, man. I know that there are things that are fucked up. And that's like another. I was talking with my wife about this. The whole PC movement. I'm so sick and tired about hearing about like, how bad things are, and, racism and sexism and, all this shit. And I'm like, man, things were way worse in the past. And yet somehow they've led to this point, and like, things are better than they've ever been. You know what I mean? It's like, if things that were worse led to a situation that's better, and that's the situation that we're living in, like, things I think are going to continue to get better. Like, and I think it's a perspective thing. People look around and they're like, they talk about racism. It's like, motherfucker, go back like 200 years, 100 years. And like, there's a different, or go to another fucking country. Like, go over, like, where was it? Was it Rwanda or wherever? Where like, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking racism. Like, straight up racism. Like, feeling like some dude looked at you funny because, you were a different color than he was, and now you feel uncomfortable or something like that. Like, that's not fucking racism. Like, that's not cool. Like, we need to get past that point, but like, that's not the same thing. And it is, man. There's so much perspective that people don't have on their lives and the world. And that's where like reading history and just reading in general comes in, because it gives you this perspective, and you realize like, like that Lessons of History book that we both read, and you realize, like, man, it's so cyclical.
Well, they had such a great conversation. Like, there's several chapters in that book that I told you that just straight up made me feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Reading. Like, the
one was on race.
One was on race. There was 3 chapters in particular that really scared me. There was like the race, like the religion and the war, the economy and the wars or something. I forget. There was 3 of them specifically. And but it goes to, I think in our DNA, humans, like, I don't know how to say it better, but like, we crave conflict. We need challenge.
Yeah.
And so when everything is so cushy and easy, you start looking on the periphery for these challenges, or for these people wronging you, or for these conflicts.
Yeah.
And that's what goes right into why jiu-jitsu is so fucking good. And that's why a lot of people that stick with jiu-jitsu are some of the coolest people you meet.
Yeah.
Because you have that difficult thing in your life and that challenge, that humbles you or gives you that time of day or time of the week in your life to where shit is just extremely difficult. So it makes the rest of the things you encounter way less impactful.
Yeah.
Because you get somebody, just some normal person out in your day-to-day life that's an asshole to you. But if you just got done training hard that day, the chances of you elevating with them are so minimized. You're just like, whatever, man, this guy's a dick.
It's like that quote in Fight Club, man. When you fight, the volume on everything else gets turned way down. So yeah, it's very true, man. Very true.
I think it all ties in.
Yeah. I think, too, man, just people not understanding, like, it's... I think... I don't know, this is maybe not the exact same thing, but I'm just kind of free thinking here. I think one of the problems is people are told to feel guilty about how they feel, not necessarily to be judged by their actions, right? And so humans are hardwired to be us versus them. It's a tribal thing, right? So like at the roots of racism is that us versus them instinct that's like genetically ingrained in us because like that's what you needed for survival in the tribal hunter-gatherer setting. But the problem is when you are in this modern society and you don't recognize, like, okay, that's we don't need that, right? And so like that's where people are we've gotten past that, and so we're recognizing like, man, these big overt forms of racism are ridiculous because it's not an us versus them. We're all in the same boat together. We're all trying to push towards the same goals. Everyone's just trying to be happy and live a good life and hopefully leave things a little bit better for their kids and stuff like that. But you're still going to have, we're a long ways away before our genes change. You know what I mean? And so you're still going to have some of that instinct that kicks in every once in a while. But if you understand what it is, and you understand that, well, this is ridiculous, and you have a better way of consciously dealing with it, then one, you stop worrying about it, right? Like I think that's how you get past being racist is you're not worried about being racist. It's like when you're worried about being racist, it's really hard because you're measuring every fucking thing you say, every feeling you have. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like people are like, you shouldn't even feel a certain way. And it's like, holy shit, man. Like, yeah, on a certain level, but man, that's a slippery slope because you can take that to the nth degree and now we can never get past this because if the way that you're going to judge is like, you can't even feel this way, not how your actions are. And it's like, well, my actions are what are going to help me learn to feel differently. And I don't know. It just fucking bugs me, man. It bugs me that people are just looking to be angry. They're looking to be angry, man. Yeah, was it?
Because they don't have the conflict.
Yeah, what was it Joe Rogan calls them? Like recreationally outraged?
Yep, recreationally outraged.
Yeah.
And you see it.
Yeah, man.
You see it all the time.
Yeah.
Especially with... Because we're in a different day and age with the internet. Everybody has a voice. Not everybody had a voice before.
Right.
You couldn't just get on Facebook or Instagram and just punch away, just angry on the keyboard.
Yeah.
You're stuffing ho-hos in your face and your mom's yelling at you and you're like, oh, I'm taking it out of this. And then people just start pounding away on their keyboard saying some terrible shit that you would never say to somebody in person.
Yeah.
And so it totally, it's changed our society. We're living in a different time.
Oh yeah,
being that everybody's connected, but we're not connected. We're connected through a screen,
right?
But we're disconnected in real world because there's, I've had on a few occasions where people will say something on social media that I know they wouldn't say that if I was sitting here like you and I.
100%.
They would not say it like that.
Yeah,
But they got the protection of the screen in front of them.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of by James, man.
Even
Dude,
more,
I
sure.
have just been flamed by trolls before. And yeah, it's very frustrating. You're like, dude, you would never say this to my face. And not even from just a tough guy standpoint. It's just like you wouldn't do that because there would be some emotion, some instinct, something would kick in that would prevent you. There's something like with face-to-face where there's some emotion involved where you just don't have that with the fucking screen, man. You just don't have it with the keyboard and screen.
It's even different when you're on the phone. Man. When you're on the phone with somebody.
Yeah.
You can still connect with them, but it's not the same, dude.
Man.
You're missing that that personal connection.
Yeah.
You miss a beat because you'll talk over each other. I mean, we talk over each other on here. We're not too bad with it. But you get on the phone, it gets even worse because there's no visual cues.
Right.
You can't, like, because if, I'm sitting here looking at you talking, if you pause, I can see you're about to say something. I just kind of tell from what you're doing with your eyes, your forehead, or something. There's something there that's telling me, oh, he's going to keep going. But on the phone, if I hear a pause, I'm like, oh shit, am I going to jump in?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh crap, he's still talking, so it's...
Yeah, it's definitely a little more awkward. But yeah, the social interaction, man, kind of goes back to what we're saying. We're not made to be alone.
No.
Sitting in a house, fucking talking on the phone and banging on the keyboard.
As much as I like to think I like to be alone, like that really sunk in with me when I got home on Monday afternoon or whatever, and the house was quiet. I was like, because I like my alone time.
Yeah. Me
there's
too.
value in it. But I was like, man, this is just kind of shitty.
Yeah.
It was just like, God damn it, man.
Well, I think that, yeah. There's a reason, like, going to sleep, man, having a little noise in the background versus just silence. I think because, like, we're just not, dude, alone is, a human alone in the wild back in the day was a fucking good. Dead human.
Well, there's something to it, too, because they say it's one of the worst things you can do to a prisoner when they're locked up is they throw them in isolation. And if they throw them in the hole like you hear about in the movies, they say that'll just break people.
Yeah.
They don't get to go and have lunch with their other inmates or whatever, man. That fucks people up.
Oh, yeah,
Too much time in isolation.
That's funny. I was actually thinking about that the other day because you see those survival shows, those, Alone in Alaska or whatever. And I was thinking, man, that's actually not, they're like, oh, they're getting back to, the land and the old school way of doing it. And I'm like, man, it's actually not the old school way of doing it. Like, humans weren't alone out there by themselves. Like, it was... If you were in a bad spot, man.
Yeah, you got separated from your tribe or something happened.
Something, man. Or, it wasn't
normal.
It wasn't a normal thing, man. Yeah, you usually needed a group more than... Was it 1 is none and 2 is 4, whatever the fucking... Yeah, there you go. So there you go, man.
Anyways, we riffed on that for a while. I'm not even sure how we went down that hole.
I don't know either, man.
All from my racist comment. Apology.
And I just gave my whole, fucking theories on it, we're
solving problems, man.
We are, dude. So, I got one for you.
All right.
You ready for this?
Oh.
So, time for the history and culture lesson.
Okay.
This is interesting again, man. I'm reading Plutarch, right? And he's given the history of the noble Grecians and Romans. And he was talking about... Who the fuck is he talking about here? What chapter are we in? Poplicola. It's one of the dudes who helped in the founding of the Roman Republic and overthrowing the kings and stuff like that. But they had a fucking passage in here, man. So the dudes were fighting, one party and the other party. I was like, holy shit, it's gi. The other party made a resistance and throwing their gowns round their opponents' necks, at last, after much struggling on both sides, made their way with their prisoners through the streets into the forum. I was like, holy shit, that's like they were using their robes. As gi.
Did a gi choke.
To do a gi choke.
Yeah.
How fucking kick-ass is that, man?
That's pretty badass.
That's pretty badass. So, anyways, I thought you'd enjoy that. I was like,
gi chokes have been around a long time.
Dude, yeah, we thought the Brazilians got the whole, gi jiu-jitsu thing going, but it's been around for a long time. Yeah. So, there you go. Those toga robes were not just for show.
But the problem is you take that off to strangle somebody, but then you're naked.
I don't think they took it off. I think you could you have the freaking flowy parts.
You've thought way more about the toga fight than I did. Dude. That was just a cursory idea that...
Dude, worm guard with a toga?
It'd be pretty good.
Oh.
There's a lot of tail there to grab.
Yeah, there's a lot of tail there to grab. You could use it against them. Or,
I instantly was worried about my dong hanging out when I took my toga off to choke somebody.
Dude, they didn't give a shit. These dudes oiled themselves up and wrestled naked. You know what I mean? That was a different time.
Man, it was a different time.
No one gave a shit back then, man.
Yeah, I guess you see like some of the first Olympiad games.
Oh, they were all naked.
They were all naked.
Yeah. It was
different time. I'm glad we progressed past that. Sometimes we long for the old days.
I like my clothes.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have got into jiu-jitsu.
I don't think so either, man. I've thought about that. I'm like, God damn, I do not think. But you can see why, it was takedown past the dangerous legs. When you're doing it naked, it's a different thing, it's man. A different ball game. Yeah.
Hopefully, there's not a whole lot of closed guard.
Yeah, you're not trying to fucking play the bottom game a whole lot.
It'd be terrible. Get triangled in this situation. God damn it. Be hating life.
Oh man, the brown-eyed shuffle. Brown-eyed shuffle. Fucking meaning. So there you go, dude. There's our history lesson. So gi jiu-jitsu goes all the way back to Poplicola.
That's pretty sweet.
The people lover. I think that's what Poplicola meant.
People lover choking people with his robe.
That's right, man. The other dude, yeah. Reading that book too, you realize like how insane the Athenians were. Like people get like this last election, right? Like everybody got all fucking bent out of shape because technically Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, and it was like people's first introduction to the fact that we live in a republic, not a democracy. It's a democratic republic, not a just democracy, not a pure democracy, which I know blew a lot of fucking people's minds, but it's been that way since the beginning, guys. And there's a reason for that, right? And it's because when every man has a vote and every vote counts equally, shit goes sideways pretty quickly. And the Athenians were notorious for it. And being manipulated and voting certain ways, that their whole ostracism thing, ostracizing people, was kicking people out of the city for 10 years. And it was just because like people would get too popular and too powerful. And they even said like it wasn't so much to punish the person, it was to give a way for the people to vent their jealousy and just whatever at this person in a non-murderous way, right? I mean, so this is what you get when you have a pure democracy: is your best people being voted out of the city because the fucking commoners got jealous and were manipulated by someone else who was trying to get them kicked out, and it's insane. But then like that's why we have the Roman system was different. That was a republic. And that's why we model ours actually more after the Roman system than the Greek system, which is having the people vote, but then they have representatives that then vote, like do the actual like vote. Right. And so like whole electoral college, right? So that's why it goes that way. So like it's a checks and balance thing. Like people got all upset because we got fucking Trump in the office, which, again, we can argue whether, God damn, that was just a no-win situation, right? Like either one of them wouldn't have been great. But it was actually a win, like showing the system works, like this is how it's supposed to work. And you don't want it the other way.
I wonder what would happen nowadays if they switched it to where you could vote online. And everybody just got to vote. Like everybody's vote was the same. It was turned into a popularity. Dude. Like what would happen?
It would be a shit show. It would be a shit show. Like people think that it wouldn't.
I wonder what would happen, man.
But man, it would be a shit show. And you hate to say it, right? But the reality is most people out there are not fucking smart enough to be able to vote intelligently on matters. They vote emotionally on things. I mean, you just see how they act. Like they're emotionally reactive to things in their life. How do you think they're going to vote? So again, it's not perfect. Like our system's definitely not perfect. There's a shit ton of problems. Like I love the president. He's the biggest distraction that they have. Like the real motherfuckers you need to be worried about are those senators and the congressmen who are there for a lifetime. Like as much as you hate Trump, that motherfucker's out of there in 8 years. Like at the most, right? He's probably out of there sooner. But then he's gone. Who's still there? Like how long was fucking Ted Kennedy in office? That dude, that was a motherfucker. That dude was there for decades.
So, dude, so many of those politicians are, and then they get in the pocket of some big lobbyist. Yep. And then, we don't see that.
Yeah, but the president's their distraction. Yeah. That's what most people don't understand. Is we're so worked up over who the fucking president is that we're not paying attention to the real power and the real problems that you have, which are these entrenched lifetime politicians in the Senate and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's a brilliant fucking job that they've done.
Dude, it's crazy to think about it too. And we have a president of greatest country in the world, and he's on Twitter, tweets ridiculous shit, dude. It's so crazy. Like you wonder if. God damn it, man! It's so funny. I love the South Park episodes with the Trump character and the shit they have him do. Oh God, it's classic, man.
Oh, I know, man.
It's so funny.
It is. It is interesting. I mean, hopefully we'll get somebody better.
The Rock
next time.
The Rock and Oprah are gonna run.
Well, I love, yeah, man. I love how people are now like, well, let's get Oprah in. She's the answer to fucking Trump on the other side. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, what?
Popularity contest.
Yes,
man. That's all it is.
That's all it is, man. That's all it is. It's a crazy thing, but you know. And then the president, he's not like king.
No,
that's the other thing that drives me nuts. It's like he's not a king. There's checks and balances on his fucking power. The idea of like the president's like a king is ridiculous. He's just, anyways. Most people just don't fucking understand how our government works. It's insane. And they don't understand it. And say what you will, it survived and gotten where we are because so far it's the best that humans have come up with so far.
It's got us to this point.
It's got
flaws, but it's got us to this point.
Yeah, man. I mean, the alternative, like I said, you don't want everybody voting. Like, again, that's another one of those things, man. Like, Joe Rogan's got a couple things he talks about on a consistent basis that just makes me want to fucking run my head into my steering wheel. And that's one of them when he's like, oh, the president, it's a ridiculous idea that we have a president, and, you know, it's just anteridic idea, and you know, we should just online voting
or council of elders
or something. Yeah, it's like, well, where do they come from? You know what I mean? Like somebody,
that's kind of what we have right now. Is sort of. I mean, there are a bunch of corrupt council of elders.
Yeah,
but it's
or just the whole like online vote. Like everybody gets to vote. And I'm like, dude, not everybody's online. Like, I really hate to break this to people who live in LA and like are connected like that, but there are huge swaths of this country that are way less like connected. And
do you think there's really still that big a swath of the country? I mean, there's people that choose not to be connected.
Yeah,
but there's no place in our country that like you can't be connected if you want, right?
So yeah, no, I guess you're right.
You know what I mean? There's not huge. I wouldn't say there's huge swaths. We're not fucking Africa.
I just don't think it's as ubiquitous as like. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm fucking wrong.
I'll disagree.
There's a phone in everybody's pocket.
I'll disagree with you there.
Jesus
man.
Christ!
I think everybody's pretty connected. I mean, I'll be driving through the mountains. There's areas where you have no signal.
Right.
And you know, and you can't check your goddamn Instagram, you know, it's a little
right. Like, fucking Pandora's not working.
I know I'm streaming a podcast and it goes out on me when I'm going through a canyon. I get pissed right off. It's like, well, I should have fucking downloaded this episode.
Nah, you're right, man.
God damn it.
We've made that Faustian deal. It's the devil's in our pocket. Most people just don't realize he's fucking in our pocket. It's like that the Rick and Morty episode with the devil. When Summer works for the devil.
Yeah.
Right? But Rick, how do you fucking get the most of the devil? You know he's the devil. Okay, fine. You know what I mean? It's like, that's how the devil gets you, is you don't admit, like, okay, this is the devil, and I'm going to make a deal with the devil. And that's the thing with, like, the fucking phones, man. Like, people, that's the devil.
That's the deal
that is the devil, man, in your pan. And if you know he's the devil, I was talking to my daughter about this the other day, that, like, you know, you probably, like, I use my phone, but I have a much different relationship with that motherfucker than the vast majority of people that she sees. Like, I use it very sparingly. I use it to make phone calls. I know that's crazy. I use it to listen to music, and I use it when I need a map, you know, to go somewhere. And that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not, you know, I've got all my email isn't on there. I've got all my notifications turned off, stuff like that. And the reason is because I know that motherfucker's the devil, and I'm going to make a deal with him, but it's going to be on my terms so that he doesn't get my soul in the deal. And that's the thing, man. People have sold their fucking soul to those phones.
They don't realize it.
They don't even realize it. They don't even realize it, man.
Just connected to those things.
Oh, yeah, dude. It is such a Faustian deal, and you don't think about it. You don't realize it until it's too late, and you're like, how did I get this way? Why do I spend 2 hours a day fucking checking Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that? Like, now I can't go to jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, people are like, I don't have got time to train. It's like, motherfucker,
how much time
you spending online, man? So, anyways, there you go.
All right. Yeah, we can go on forever about that.
I know, dude.
I got another one. Hard segue here. So, you know, I've been taking vitamin D for quite a while.
Yeah.
And we talked about, and you gave me some K2, D3 combo. You know, because I've heard you talked about it, and I've read, you know, make sure you got having vitamin K with vitamin D is important.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know the science behind it. But, dude, like, I've been taking that for like 3 weeks now. I noticed a difference. Like the biggest difference in my hands.
Yes.
Because our hands get, through jiu-jitsu, conditioning, work. I have a pretty physical job. I use my hands quite a bit, so they get sore. They'll get. But man, like I've noticed, about 3 weeks since I've been taking the K2.
I was going to ask you actually.
They feel significantly better.
Yeah.
Like I really noticed that. I'm like, I say that's got to be it. I haven't changed anything else.
Man. That's exactly what happened to me, man. First time I took it, it was like after about 2-3 weeks, I just realized like, my elbows are just fucking wrecked to shit. I got like arthritis in both of them from mountain biking. So I noticed it in my elbows too. But yeah, the hands for sure are is what I felt. And I was just like, I remember thinking, I was taking it and I wasn't even thinking about it. And it was one of those, I was like, wait a minute, my hands don't hurt as bad. Like, what the fuck's going on?
I think one of the things I noticed most, like when I wake up in the morning, it's like the old man thing. It just takes a minute to get your hands going.
Yeah.
It's kind of just how I was operating. I just, chalked it up to wear and tear. It's just what it is, But now I don't really have that. Like I wake up and there's not like cracking knuckles, stretching them out. Like no, man, they're just
sweet,
good to go. So
yeah, man,
something to it.
Yeah. Well, we'll follow up on that. I mean, I'm glad you're. I think it's a great supplement, man. I think that the K2 D3 is a great supplement for kind of still an underground thing for a lot of grapplers that I think just has a shit ton of benefits for us. So I'm glad you're seeing it too, and it's not just all in my head.
No,
but
there's a significant difference there.
Cool. Yeah. The hands is a big one for sure. So
fuck yeah.
Right on, man. Cool. I'm glad. Well, I got some more bottles for you, so when you're out of that one, let me know.
Sweet.
And we'll keep that rolling.
Oh yeah.
So
cool. I got plenty of pre-show things. Let's talk about crazy Uber drivers.
Oh no,
dude. So get this. I've had my fair share of crazy Uber drivers, but this guy in particular, I have to share this fucking story. So this is the dude who was taking me Monday from my brother's house to the airport. Comes and picks me up. Right away, I could tell he's a little off his rocker. Nice guy. I was like, cool. I'm gonna talk. And it's like a half-hour car ride.
Yeah.
I talk to this dude, see where his brain's at. He's got a pretty new vehicle, but it's nothing special, like a Honda or a Nissan, or I forget what it was. But I mean, it's a 2018. So a lot of those new vehicles, they have some sort of like autonomous driver to them. Like they have the cameras in them. They give you the lane assist. Like like if you start veering over, they'll give you the warning and they'll self-correct a little bit. Or if the cars are slowing down in front of you, like they keep their speed pretty good. So we just start talking about this, right? And I'm like, all right. So I kind of get the ball rolling. Well, I see this little contraption he's got hanging down by his dash. I can't really see what it is. It's kind of on his side. This is what he told me. He's like, he had a buddy that worked at the dealership that knew about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he hacked his car. Because this car wasn't like a self-driving car. It wasn't a Tesla.
Right.
But they said they all have the technology to do it. They just have dumbed down the software. And he's like, well, I had my buddy hack this thing. So this thing will drive forever by itself. but there's still sensors in it. There's still sensors in it to where if your hands are on the steering wheel, it'll kick itself out. Like it'll only drive by itself for like 10 seconds or something without it feels like weight on the steering wheel.
Yeah. If
you don't have weight on it, it'll kick itself out of the self-driving mode after like 10 seconds. He showed me, he's like, check this out. So it kicks itself out. All right, cool. So this dude he took some sort of weight. It wasn't very heavy, a pound or something. And he had a spring attached to it, like some rope and some spring, and then he had like a hook on the end, a hanger. And he had two of them. And so he kicked his car. I challenged him. I was like, well, fuck it. Man, I had my seatbelt on. I was like, let's see it. And I was like, he told me this because I was going to call his bluff. I was like, no way, man. And he's like, yeah. He's like, so I made these little contraptions. He's like, I can hang these on the steering wheel so the car thinks my hands are on there. And this thing will drive forever by itself. Sure shit, dude. Like he had these little weights and he hooked it on each side of the steering wheel and he just took his hands and feet off. He's like, what? And this thing drove forever by itself, man. He hacked his car, had these little weights hanging on the steering wheel.
Like turning and stopping and going, or like
we were on the highway. I didn't feel safe in the city doing it.
Yeah.
But we were on the highway and it was fairly decent traffic. I mean, we're basically in Dallas. And dude, it did good.
Wow.
He just had this little contraption, man. The car steering itself, and this dude's kind of a whack job, but it was like, I was cracking up, man. I was like, man, I don't know if Uber would approve of this guy.
That's fucking hilarious,
hacking his computer. Man. It was pretty funny.
That is funny, though. When you're like, I had my seatbelt on. I started having a vision from that scene in Fight Club where they're like, just fucking in the car, and they start flooring it, and they've got their seatbelt on. I was like, if you had to do one thing before you die, what would it be? Build a house. Paint a portrait.
That's kind of what I felt like.
That's what I'm envisioning.
This dude was a little off.
There had to be that second, right, when you're like,
I was double checking the seat.
Like, all right, where's this going?
But yeah, man, he hacked his car. He had his little contraption, so I thought it was worth sharing.
That's funny, man.
I met some fucking whack job Uber drivers. This guy was up there.
Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of Uber experience.
I have had quite a bit, man.
I remember you used to be an Uber driver.
Yep. When I was off for knee surgery, I was an Uber driver, make some extra cash.
I remember that. I remember pulling up and I saw your car, and for a second I'm like, oh, he's got the Uber Subaru edition, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought it was like a special edition,
special
the
edition
Uber edition. So I saw the sticker, and then I'm like, oh no, wait a minute, he's Ubering. All right. No,
but I didn't die. The guy got me there, so
it was good, man.
It was entertaining.
I'm glad.
It was pretty entertaining, dude. His little contraption, man, with the springs hanging there, so there's the steering wheel. Thought his hands were on there. Like, okay. I was like, oh fuck, here we go.
And madness.
Yeah,
live next door.
They live next door.
That is fucking funny, dude.
I was looking forward to sharing that with everybody.
That's good.
Next one I got. So I'm finishing up the Ray Dalio book, Principles. Dude, that's a good book. Man, that's a really good book. Anybody should read that thing.
Nice,
There's so much info in that. So many little good little things. Something that he talked about was, we all have our blind spots, but we're not objective enough to see them.
Yeah.
And he had quite a bit of, he elaborated on that more, but that was the idea of it. So then I started thinking, I was like, I wonder what my blind spots are. I was like, you know what? I'll ask James. And then I was like, you know what? I don't think my ego is ready to ask James that question yet. I was like, man, maybe I'll ask James to point out some of my blind spots. I was like, nah, let's hold off on that until I'm a little more mentally stable. Then I'll ask him my blind spots. Because I really started thinking about it. I was like, man, this could get deep quick. Like, this could get painful. I was like, yep, we'll hold off on that fucking question.
Shit, dude. I think the problem is that you and I are so alike. Like, I think our blind spots are pretty similar.
We wouldn't see each other's blind spots. Like, if you asked me your blind spots, I'd be like, nah, dude, I think you're good, man.
You're fucking perfect just the way you are, man.
Fucking keep rocking.
What do you mean, dude? Keep rocking. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to ask somebody a little more.
Yeah, that's why we hang out, man. No, I know exactly what you mean, though, for sure. With coaching, that was a big thing with me is you don't see yourself, and so... it took me a long time to understand. It's like what the dog saw, right? Like that Malcolm Gladwell book, and there's a couple different stories in there, but the main one is talking about was it Cesar, the dog whisperer guy?
Yeah, Cesar Millan.
Cesar Millan. And his whole idea, he said he actually got the idea from marriage counseling, where the marriage counselor had said something along the lines of like, well, it's not what you think you are doing, it's what they're seeing you do, like what they're perceiving you to do. And like that was his whole thing with the dogs, his breakthrough with the dogs is like, oh, it's like, what is the dog seeing? I have to understand what the dog is seeing so that I can then understand how I'm supposed to act to get the dog to act the way that I want. So like if I don't want my dog to be acting all barky and crazy, and I'm sitting there all like telling him, don't bark, and you're all like nervous and jerky, and it's like he can sense the energy, and it's like, the dog is seeing you get nervous and jerky, and so he's getting nervous and jerky, and so it's kind of the same thing with coaching people. It's, what does the dog see? Like, they're the dog, and you got to understand like what they see and how they're interpreting what you're doing, and it's hard, like, because you don't see yourself. Like I said, like it took me a long time, and having Kiele help me kind of understand, and I've come a long way, man. Like I said, like, dude, I enjoy coaching so much more now because I'm way more relaxed, and I feel like I can interact with people better. And it took a while, but yeah, man, you get those blind spots, but if you're not open to them, because it caused a lot of problems too, and I fought it for a long time. It was like, it's not my fault, it's the world's fault. Like, the world just needs to fucking figure me out, right? Like, I'm right. You guys just need to work harder. What do you mean? And it's not that I was wrong. It's just that if my message can't be digested, then how good is my message? And so that's what it really was figuring out, like, okay, how do I see the world in a way that I can communicate my message to them better? But yeah, those blind spots are motherfucking painful.
They are. And there's, and I don't even really know what mine are, but there is a big, generally for most people, I will say there's a big gap between how you see yourself and how the outside world sees you.
Yeah.
What you're putting, there probably is a pretty significant gap there.
Yeah.
And that's an uncomfortable gap.
That
bridge is suspect. That's a difficult bridge to navigate.
Yeah. Honestly, that's a cause of a lot of people's fucking pain and problems, though, man. Is like, they project this image, they see themselves as a certain way, and sometimes they don't even know why they're seeing it. Like, why do I want this? Why am I trying to be this person? And, there's that disconnect between who they're trying to be and who they really are. And it's that irritation from that gap that, causes a lot of the stress and stuff. But you got to be honest with yourself at some point and realize, like, all right, where are these blind spots? Where are these gaps? Like, that's how you start taking control and power of the situation instead of just being a fucking victim of everything. So there you go.
I thought that was interesting. I read that and I was like, man, that's, like I said, there's a lot of good stuff in that book.
There's a lot of good stuff, man.
And then there was one quote I wanted to share too, and we don't have to elaborate and berate it, but from the same book, it said, putting comfort ahead of success produces worse results for everyone.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that, getting out of your comfort. We had no episode about getting out of your comfort zone, but I read that and I was just like, man, it's good shit. It really, and it is worse results for everybody.
Yep.
Whether you think you're affecting them or not, like, it's...
Yeah, man, the short-term comfort, as opposed to, dude, I see that. Dude, raising kids, like, that's what raising kids is, man. It's like, it's not comfortable to have to discipline kids. It's not comfortable being consistent with it. And, honestly, I'm like, keep going to all these problems with society, but, like, I think a lot of fucking the problem with this whole, like, touchy-feely way of raising kids these days is just to give parents an excuse to not do the uncomfortable thing and have to discipline your fucking kid and set them on the right path and set standards for them and hold them to those standards. And when they don't meet those standards, there's consequences for them. And man, it is so easy. So I see it. I'll be sitting there and I'm like, dude, the last thing I want to do is have to fucking discipline Z when he's getting out of hand sometimes. But I realize, like, it's just for me. It's comfortable for me, and I'm ruining him by doing the comfortable thing. And so, yeah, man, and like in all aspects of life that comes across. But it's definitely, I don't know, I've been thinking about a lot with raising kids, man, because it's so hard to be consistent. And it's like what in that extreme ownership book, like what Jocko Willink talks about, with it's not what you preach, it's what you tolerate. And like that's the hard part, man. You can preach all day long, but like it's the tolerating that gets on. Like, I'm not going to tolerate this, drawing the line in the sand, saying that's it. Both personally and with whatever, with yourself, sometimes you got to draw a line in the sand. Like, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to, fall into this behavioral trap anymore. And, but yeah, you can talk about it all you want, but you got to fucking take action.
You got to take action.
Fuck yeah, dude. No, I like that one. Did you read all the principles and stuff?
Yeah,
at the end?
I'm almost through. I mean, I'm real close to being done. I'm looking forward to being done because I want to start my next one. Because I was thinking about reading the Jordan Peterson book.
Yeah,
it just came out. I was thinking about reading that. That was supposed to be my March book. I got to look at my list. I forget what February was supposed to be. But I'm so excited to read that Jordan Peterson book.
Yeah,
because I've been listening to a lot of his podcasts lately. He's got his own podcast, just called the Jordan B. Peterson podcast. And then he was on Joe Rogan just last week.
Yeah,
I think this week or last week. God damn, that dude's so smart.
Yep,
he's so smart, man. And like, he's so freaking smart, and he's so good at articulating and expressing his ideas that a dummy like me can still understand him. Sometimes I got to re-listen to it a couple times because that dude he's something special, man. And he's so far from what I am. I'm just a meathead. This guy is like, dude, like I don't understand how somebody's like brain works like that. You know what I mean? Like how he can share his thoughts and his ideas and how he comes up with this shit. Like, dude, it's mind blowing to me. Like, I love listening to that guy talk. There's interviews, his lectures he's got on YouTube. It's all free. And, he just puts it out there, and I'm not a real religious guy, but he's got a whole series to where he talks about all the lessons from religion. Have you listened to any of those?
I haven't, no.
Dude, they're good.
Yeah.
Really good. He'll just talk about like one Bible verse, and he'll go on 2 hours about it. And it goes deep. And I think he's not a religious guy.
No.
But he puts on the importance of religion in society and the lessons learned from it, and boom, boom, boom. Like, I'm not even going to try to explain how this guy thinks, but man, it's so good to listen to. Like, that dude's something else, man.
Yeah. No, I like that about him. I mean, he's a super smart guy. What I really appreciate about him is like that he's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Like, it's so, cliche these days, just like, bash Christianity and the Bible, and it's just this old dusty book and blah blah blah, and it's like, man, there's a lot of great wisdom in there, like even if you just read it not as like a spiritual text and you're just reading it to like get the wisdom that's contained in it out, there's like a lot of good stuff. And I think that I like that there's a guy like him who's that smart, who's reinforcing like, dude, it is not wrong to look at these things and draw lessons from them. Like let's not throw baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. Like, Catholic priests touch little boys, but that doesn't mean that
the lessons,
the whole fucking, all of it is wrong. So it's, I like to just read the Gospels, man. Like, Jesus that was a smart motherfucker. I think just reading it for just getting some wisdom for that. It really gives you some different perspective, and it's really interesting when you just kind of read it from that perspective, and not necessarily like, it's good. The religious side of it's good, but there's just so much wisdom contained in there that goes beyond that I think it's good. So it's all good.
Fucking A,
man.
fucking
A. I think my dog wants it.
Was that what I heard?
I think
it was either your dog or it was Z.
Oh, no. Yeah, Z says he wants to come busting in here.
One day,
I hear you guys talking. I want to go in there and say hi.
One day, I'm sure he will.
Yeah, one day.
All right, man. Well, that's all I have. No. Let me talk about this real quick before we get into cardio training.
Okay.
It is potential. There's a small potential here, but I really pissed my boss off today. So we may have to start like a Grumpy Guy Go Fund Rob page. Hopefully I'm not getting fired as we speak. So I share this just because I had to stick to my principles on this, man. So my boss gets a hold of me yesterday. I'm at work. He says, hey, man, I need you to I got to do a conference call with you and some dude from HR tomorrow, or some safety guy, HR guy, and I have no idea what it's about. Right? Yeah. And he's like, I know it's your day off. I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, that's all he said to me. He didn't give me any of the guidelines. He's like, I'll put the information in your mailbox when you get back to the office. You can check it out. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I get back last night, and he's got a specific time on there. Like, hey, I need you to call this number. It's going to be a conference call with me, you, and this other joker. And we need to do it at 9:30. And I was like, sorry, man, not happening. I was like, tomorrow's my day off. I got shit to do. I was like, I'm busy at 9:30. I was like, I'm going to be basically busy from like 8:30 in the morning to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sorry about your luck. I have things to do.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. And he's like, well, this is really important. I need you to do this. I'm like, that's cool. I understand where you're coming from. But I have other people that are depending on me, and I have obligations. Not happening. I can do it at 8 a.m. or I can do it at 3:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's like between then and there, man, I got shit going on. Sorry. Like, hey, that's just... And I drew... That was like, what are you going to tolerate? And that was like what I was going to tolerate. And like, I could see it blow this guy's mind. Because, this dude is... Like, this job is his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to climb that corporate ladder. I don't think he has a whole lot of hobbies outside of this. Like, this is his life.
Yeah.
So for him to do stuff after hours or on his days off, like, it's no big deal to him. So he thinks I should operate the same way. And I'm like, yeah. I knew in the back of my head, I'm sure if I'd said, hey, James, I got to do this at 9 o'clock, 9:30, let's postpone the podcast by a half hour, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, fucking principles. I was like, you motherfuckers can kick rocks. I was like, this isn't happening. I was like, not happening. I don't care if you're paying me. It doesn't. No, there's a principle here, and I'm not wavering from this principle. I have obligations. My obligations are just as important to me as whatever you think this is. Is like, this isn't important to me.
Yeah.
This is my day off. Did not, dude. It didn't sit well with him, man. I could tell. And so I'll be interested to see what comes of this.
I'm interested to see too, man. That's funny.
I really doubt I'll get fired. At least I hope I don't. But yeah. It was. I felt like.
Yeah.
I felt kind of good like that. I put that line in the sand. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Not happening, man.
Yeah, man. Your time is your time.
My time's my time, man.
I know. We were talking about with dude Shiloh in school. Like, God, school drives me nuts. They're just training them to be fucking little cubicle workers.
That's what this was. This is why I got so fired up about this. Is they. That's a system, man. They want you just to be worker bees.
Right.
And whenever they say jump, you say how high.
And they train you. You get homework, right? You know what I mean? Like, your time isn't even your fucking time. Like, I've gone and I've spent all this time at school, and I got to come home with homework. So, like, very early on, the message is like, no, you don't have your time. We own you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And we own you. And if we tell you to jump, you say how high, it doesn't matter when or where or what. Like, we own you, motherfucker.
Yep.
And that's the message that they instill in our kids from day one. And so it's like, no wonder this dude is blown away that someone is like not recognizing. He's like, wait a minute, but they own you, motherfucker. And you're like, no, they don't.
Dude, like, I could clearly see it because then the conversation kept going from the office. Like, he sent me a text. He's like, I had sent him one that said, hey, I am busy from here to here. Sorry, I can't call at 9:30. And then his text was like, this is super important. Just call. There was no niceties. He just expected me to do it. And I replied back, no, not happening. I am busy from here to here. Once again, I can offer you this time. I can offer you this time. That's it.
Yeah.
And I could just tell it was just like, he was like, holy fuck. Like, no one's told me no like that before. Hey, motherfucker, man, that's just what it is.
Yeah. It is, man. It's interesting. I mean, I have the same thing, man. Like, there's just certain things that I don't want to do, and it blows people's minds sometimes when you say no. Like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to keep you happy. And
that was the funniest thing when I could just tell that. It didn't blow his mind, but he was like, holy, like, this dude just telling me he's not gonna do this. Like, yeah, motherfucker, that's not happening.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Like, this is not happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
We'll see what transpires.
Well,
I may have some more exciting news by the time next Friday rolls around.
Yeah, dude. You never know. I will say, like, I've one of the best things that ever happened to me was getting fired from a job. I got fired from the International Sports Sciences Association. I was working one of the certification groups. I got fired from there, and it was a good deal because it forced me to get out on my own and figure something else out. It was a cushy job, had benefits, making a decent hourly wage and all that stuff. So at the time, man, when I got fired, I thought it was like the end of the world. Yeah. But, dude, it's funny. I got fired because, I'll tell the story real quick and then we'll go on. It's just ironic, man. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, I used to, be a model, and I hung out with a lot of gay people. And, like, to the point, like, I don't fucking think about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big thing to me at all. And so, God, what was it? There was a magazine cover there was a fitness magazine, and on the cover of it was like this buff dude and he had like just a ribbon like barely covering his privates or whatever. And I just made the offhanded comment that if there was ever any doubt that the editor of this magazine was gay, this solidifies it. Like, puts out, like, I mean, so apparently, I come back to work the next day, and there was like somebody in the office who overheard it and complained, and I got fired for saying derogatory things about gay people. And
it's not even derogatory.
I know, man. It was just, and the thing that blew my mind was I was like, if one of my gay friends would have been sitting there, he would have looked and been like, oh yeah, or something like that, and it wasn't, I know, but it was ridiculous, man. But it was one of those, like I said, is looking back, I'm like, well, I'm glad they were overly sensitive and fired me from that job. But yeah, that was so ridiculous. That was like, but yeah, that's what happens when you run your mouth in a corporate environment. That's why I got to do the Grumpy Guy podcast, where I can say whatever the fuck I want, and no one can fire me from the podcast.
Well, that's what's kind of weird. Like, I haven't said anything too crazy, because I'm mindful of I work for a big corporation, so I gotta be careful to a certain extent, because I'm not prepared to get fired right now. Like, I'd have to figure something else out, and I have no idea what like this conference call is supposed to be about. And so I'm like, these fuckers spying on me. What's going on here, man? And just Big Brother like tapping into the Grumpy Guy podcast, like seeing I got shit going on the outside, so they're listening. Like, what? Yeah, I'm like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
That's anyway. my whole tinfoil hat conspiracy side kicks in pretty fast.
Dude, yeah. Well, it's all right, man. It's a Faustian deal. At least you know what you're doing. You drew your line. You're not letting them have your soul.
Fuck no.
So
they can eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Yeah, man.
A whole big bag of dicks. So if they're listening to that.
Dude, I know, man. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Cardio training,
which you'll have more time for if you get fired.
Look at that. There's already positives.
See, positives.
There is positives,
man. You definitely have more training time. So, man, I had like some free-flowing thoughts on my cardio training notes. I don't know if you had any.
That's kind of how I was. Like, again, I said this to you. Before we started recording. Like, I'm coming at it from a more bro science / personal experience side, where I'm dependent on you to kind of come from the more science and more experience side, like experience with other people, clients, and so to speak. I've never really had clients. I've coached a lot, but I've never had someone come to me like, hey, I need to increase my endurance, and I've never had like a test to do that. You know what I mean? It's all just been for me. And so my thought is like, I'm coming at it from, when we say cardio training, I want to increase my cardio when wrestling, when rolling, when doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So that's my big base. Like, okay, and then my test is, am I getting tired when I'm rolling?
Right.
Okay, if I'm getting tired when I'm rolling, I need to do some sort of other cardio training here. I'm not getting tired, so what I'm doing is good. That's it. I mean, that's how stripped down it is.
Yeah.
And I have what I've been doing, and things I've played with, and I started doing some research, and I found some principles that obviously more intelligent people have come up with and implemented and actually done studies on.
Yeah. That
I can stuff what I've been doing into that principle, so to speak.
Right.
So anyways.
Yeah.
So that's where I came at it from.
Well, good, man. Good. So, I'll just start.
All right.
I won't start off with the Tabatas yet.
All right.
We'll dig into that here in a second. But I think, so from my perspective, just kind of some of the big mistakes that people make before we get into what works, and this is just what the things that I've noticed is, one, there's a difference between general physical prep and specific physical prep. Yeah, and basically anything that isn't jiu-jitsu isn't specific physical prep. And so a lot of people make this mistake of thinking just because I put together a 5 exercise circuit and I'm doing each one for a minute, so it's a 5-minute circuit of these different exercises, this is jiu-jitsu specific. No, that's not jiu-jitsu specific. That is still general physical prep. The only thing that's specific is jiu-jitsu. So
like live
drilling or rolling, right? If you're not doing jiu-jitsu, then it's not specific. It can be jiu-jitsu specific moves, some calisthenic stuff doing your shrimps and things like that. But if it's not practicing the sport of jiu-jitsu, it's not specific. And it's just it's just people get confused and they start doing too much general stuff, thinking that it's specific. And it can lead to some issues with volume, doing too much volume and stuff like that. So that's kind of one of the big mistakes I see people make is they think just because it's a 5-minute circuit or something, it's jiu-jitsu specific, and it may be more jiu-jitsu specific than going for a 30-minute jog, but it's definitely not, like, it's not replacing the jiu-jitsu specific cardio.
So what you're saying there is that, I don't know if I'm leaping to say this, is that basically, like, the best way to increase your cardio for jiu-jitsu is just doing fucking jiu-jitsu.
Hey!
Right? That's what you're saying, right?
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. We're going to break it down more than that. And I agree. I think that the biggest
should be your number one.
That should be to get better at live rolling is you just live fucking roll.
Yes. Yeah.
And when I say better, we're just talking from a cardio standpoint, from an endurance standpoint.
Right. Because that's the most specific, right? And it kind of ties into the second mistake I see people make is, like, the term cardio training is really misleading in itself, because it just refers to one system. Your cardiovascular system is one system in the body. You've got your cardiovascular system, you got your nervous system, and you got your metabolic system. Nervous system controls the muscles. The metabolic system controls fuel consumption and hormones and stuff like that. But mainly that's like your fuel consumption. And then your cardiovascular system is what is helping to supply oxygen to keep the and remove waste products and stuff. So all three of these things work together. And so when you say cardio training, people start thinking about, like, I just got to breathe hard. Like, if my cardio system, if I'm breathing hard and my heart's pumping hard, that's good cardio. And that's not really what you want. What you want is better endurance, right? Like, you want to be able to endure better when you're rolling. You want to be able to maintain a higher pace for longer. You want to be able to roll for longer. But, like, you want to be, it's an endurance thing that you're wanting. Just increasing your cardio, but you don't increase your endurance on the mat. That's not really what you want. And so, again, just keeping that in mind, like, it's the whole system. Ultimately the brain controls everything. So it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, what does the dog see? What does your brain see, right? So it just keeping that in mind with your cardio training. And again, it's more kind of principles, right? Like, when we get down to specifics, it's like, okay, you can use that as a filter when you're talking about a method. Is this method a good method? Well, let's look at how how the whole system's working. Developing a pacing development strategy. Like, that's another thing. We think pacing, we think that's a bad word, but that's not it, right? Like, Usain Bolt uses a pacing development strategy, or a pacing strategy for the 100-meter dash. You have to know how to use your energy wisely for the time period that you're going. And so, like, that's really what you're after. I think that, like I said, the goal is to keep the goal the goal. The goal is not better cardio. The goal is better endurance on the mat. And so, that's, like I said, that's the big mistake I see people making, is they don't understand the difference between general and specific cardio training, and they think that the goal is just to breathe hard and have their heart fucking pumping hard without respecting the movement patterns. And that's why jiu-jitsu is the best that you can do, because your nervous system is being trained in the specific movements of jiu-jitsu. The fuel systems being used are the same exact fuel systems you're going to use doing jiu-jitsu. Your cardio, you know what I mean? Like, that's why jiu-jitsu is the best cardio that you can do, because you're training all three of those systems in the most specific way possible. And then once you get out of that, you get into your general stuff. Now you're looking at maybe isolating some of those systems a little bit more to enhance certain things, but keeping in mind what the big picture is overall. So anyways, there you go. So
yeah, I agree with that. And like I think we said when we were recording that we're probably going to agree on the big thing.
Yeah.
And I think that is the most important, is that there's nothing that's going to replace just wrestling, getting on the mat, and time on the mat and wrestling.
Yeah.
But I think where this when this will come into play, like cardio training, endurance training, is when maybe you can't get on the mat, or you feel you need some extra. Like, for example, for me, generally my jiu-jitsu training days are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I cram 5 practices into those 3 days. And so I have Monday through Thursday where I most of the time don't get on the mat just due to work schedule. And so I throw in some cardio training, endurance training in those days, some variation of. And I feel I need to. That way I'm not getting tired on the mat. But if
that leads me to my other thing.
If I could be on the mat, 7 days a week, most of the time I would until I hit my breaking limit. Like, oh, dude, I am beat up today. Like, I am just drilling today. Like I'm not wrestling today. You're gonna come into those, but so.
Yeah, man. No, I mean that's jiu-jitsu is the most specific thing you can do, and it's like you were saying, if you're rolling a bunch, so there's a fine line, right? Like if you're rolling a bunch, then you don't need a lot of extra non-specific cardio. If you're not able to roll as much as you'd like to, then that's where the extra cardio can come in to kind of help supplement and bolster that. But just knowing that ultimately it's not replacing it.
No.
It's not the same thing. And your best bet is to do more. But I will say one of the other mistakes I see people make, I have it down here, is letting cardio training become a mental crutch for them. Because we've actually talked about this a little bit, where you may actually physically do better if you did a little less cardio training, but mentally you would not feel better. Like you would think that you're losing your edge, that there's something off. And so there's that fine line between balancing what the athlete needs from a mental confidence standpoint and what they truly need from a physical preparation standpoint. And so in understanding that if you're overusing the physical preparation stuff to try to like bolster your confidence, that it can definitely bite you in the ass.
There's a point of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
But you can't underestimate that mental confidence.
No, you can't.
You can't. That's really important, because if you go in second guessing yourself, like, fuck, I didn't train enough.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a hindrance, because you're not gonna have the confidence. Like, oh, I can't explode here. I'm gonna get tired.
Right.
I need to chill here for a minute before I, But if you've done enough work ahead of time, you're gonna have that mental confidence. Like, oh, I've put in the work. Like, I can explode out of this or do this. So there is a big benefit to that. But again, you got to balance it.
Yeah.
Because you're getting into that, the area of overtraining. And so if you're overtraining, you're beating your body up, you're not going to be at your physical peak. But mentally, you think, oh, I've put in there. So it's a little balancing act you have to do.
But if you're not aware of it, if you're not aware that it can become a crutch, you're not aware, like, you don't have a chance. Like, if you're getting injured a bunch from training, like, odds are that you're using training as a crutch. You're training too much. And you're using it because you're trying to use it, for the mental confidence side. So, that's where the balancing act, I think, comes in. Because, yeah, man, if I came in and, like you said, we've had this talk before, if I told you, like, hey, this is what you need, and you stopped doing it, but it killed your mental confidence, it wouldn't be better for you. So, there's a huge part there, but
it's a delicate dance. That's a tough one to sort out.
It is, but yeah, if you feel compelled to have to bust your ass, like in my experience from working with people, I've found that most people can recover from, really about 2, maybe 3 hard cardio training sessions a week, and again, it's a recovery thing. You can't really recover from more than that. Like, the math doesn't add up. Like, 3 days is almost half the week. Like, if you train hard, cardio training 3 days a week, then where's the recovery come in? If you're training more than that. And so again, there's moderate and light days, and that's where, like, it's not saying you don't train on those other days, right? That's where, like, understanding how to balance hard, medium, and light days come in. But, if you feel like you've got to bust your ass 5 times a week doing cardio training, just kicking the shit out of yourself between rolling and off mat cardio training, you may be doing that a little bit more for the wrong reasons. Like, it's not really helping you physically. And so, but that's where, like I said, like, it's not doing nothing, right? Like, I think, for example, like long, slow distance shit, like, that gets poo-pooed, but man, there's a reason that boxers and athletes forever have run. It's great easy cardio training. So it's hard to have a easy day on the mat, right? It's hard. It's almost fucking impossible unless you're drilling with a dummy and you can totally dictate everything. You can have an easy day on the mat if
you just drill.
Yeah, but even then, your partner, you know what I mean? Like, if your partner's like, well, I'm going to drill this fucking takedown sequence or something like that. Like, it's easier than it can be, but like, a truly easy day, can be really tough to kind of dictate for yourself on the mat.
I
so,
agree.
and that's where like having the long, slow distance, like going for a jog or a walk or something like that can come in. But that also helps you from the mental side, right? Because you're not doing nothing. You're still doing some cardio training. And if you understand how it all fits into the big picture, then it can still bolster that mental confidence. But it's the, just, physically, man, you can only recover from so much. Like that's the thing that people don't want to admit. It's like, man, at a certain point, you can only recover from so much, and it's not what you can survive, it's what you can recover from that ultimately leads to your results. So,
and on that note, that's kind of the answer that it gets annoyed from everybody gets annoyed hearing, because they'll be like, hey, well, what should I do for cardio? Or you say, well, it depends. It depends, because everybody's different. Everybody's going to recover different.
Yep.
And you don't know what you need or your body needs until you use yourself as that lab rat and you test stuff out.
Yeah.
And like I've said before, and I always do, is I always redline it until I hit that breaking point, and hopefully I'm smart enough to figure it out before I hit that breaking point, and then I can back off.
Right, yeah.
We've said it before, you don't know how much too much is until
you've done too much.
until you've done too much. And that's how I operate all the time with fucking everything I do. And so and that just comes. You have to try it out, and really pay attention to how you feel.
Yeah.
So
some of the
and the metric we use as jiu-jitsu guys, it's not real solid. It's how are you feeling when you're rolling.
Yeah.
And that gets a little bit tough to determine too, because how hard is your partner going with you?
Yeah.
When you have the same training partners, we have a team and we all train together. It gets a little easier because you know each other's tendencies.
Right.
And so he's going a little bit harder today. And then okay, I had to go a little bit harder. Oh, I felt good. Oh, he turned up the volume on me, man, and I was just gassed. So it's easier when you have the same training partners, because but it's not a super solid metric.
It's not as easy, but there's, and that's that's fucking. That's why it gets fuzzy, man. Like there's Dan Johns talked about, and I think I may have mentioned, like, what is the true role of the strength coach, and really ultimately like strength and conditioning with an athlete. And jiu-jitsu is a very fuzzy sport. Like something like track and field is much clearer cut. You add 20 pounds to somebody's deadlift and they got X amount faster. Well, it's pretty fucking clear cut what happened there. Man, jiu-jitsu, you've got so many different factors going on that, that's why I think like most people a lot of jiu-jitsu people overdo the cardio training, like the off the mat cardio training, in my opinion. Like I think that most train jiu-jitsu and then use the off the mat time for mobility and strength. It's almost like train the opposite. Like when you get off the mat, you want to train the opposite of what you do on the mat, which sounds counterintuitive, but it's about plugging those holes, filling in those gaps that you're not going to get exposed to when you roll. Man, when you roll, dude, like rolling is one of the most cardio intensive activities you can possibly do. Like wrestling it's been scientifically proven that the work to rest ratio of wrestling blows everything else away. And so you get such fucking cardio from jiu-jitsu that, really like the first thing you need to plug in. See, the thing with you is you do your strength and you do your mobility, and then you add cardio on top of it. Right, and if you were going to have to take stuff out of that, I would say the cardio should be the first thing that comes out. Like that strength and mobility need to be the first things to be addressed, and the cardio training is the last thing that you want to add on, which is that's like the fucking opposite of the way most jiu-jitsu people approach it. Right, they're like, man, I'm breathing hard when I'm rolling, so therefore I need to be breathing hard when I'm working out, or else it's not doing me any good for jiu-jitsu. And so they get off the mat and like it's like CrossFit style. They're trying to turn strength training into cardio training. They're just, cardio training this and that. And it's all fucking cardio training. And then the strength and mobility is almost kind of like this afterthought if they have time. And it's like, dude, that's completely backwards the way that a jiu-jitsu athlete should be approaching it. That's fucking the backwards way to do it. So, but anyways, that's just my...
No, I would agree. And you see a lot of people make that mistake, and a common thing when you start reading about endurance athletes or people trying specifically to increase endurance is you get into that black hole training, to where I think a lot of people fall into that and make that mistake. Is that's where you're getting into those long, slow distance. And what I mean, like, so let me back up. So long, slow distance, I think would be good, and I think is good for what I call like active recovery days.
Yeah.
So where you're not going out trying to set world records, you're going on a nice hike, you're going on a light run. I don't run a lot just because it just pounds the shit out of you.
Right.
But I run here and there. But just getting outside, or even if you can't go outside, like I really like using a rower, Concept 2 rower or the assault bike, but not going fucking turbo destructo on it, man.
Yeah.
Just like an active recovery.
50%.
And I always, it's hard if you don't have a heart rate monitor. I think the easiest way to measure that is can you have a conversation with somebody? If you can hold a conversation without, you're probably at a decent pace.
Yeah.
I think it's where a lot of people screw up. When I was getting into that black hole training, is they get into that no man's land to where
the gray zone.
The gray zone to where they can't quite hold a conversation, but they're not sprinting.
Yes.
And they're in this black hole they're not deriving a lot of benefit from.
No.
Like there's a principle. It's called the Pareto principle, and I think they stole it. I think Pareto was some like economist back in fucking Italy a long time ago.
The 80-20
the 80-20 principle to where like 20% of the people had 80% of the wealth.
Yeah.
And so it just gets stuffed into working out.
Yeah.
And what that principle says that you're spending 80% of your time below your lactic threshold, and then you're spending 20% exceeding it. But most people are just teetering almost at that, and you're not getting a ton of benefit from it.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of people make that mistake because they feel like, I'm not quite breathing hard enough, but they're not willing just to go like death mode on it. And
that's where like turning strength training and cardio training, like that's that gray zone.
That gray zone.
You're not really working your cardio hard enough to get the intensity level you need. It's too hard. You're adding stress to the system. Yeah, that's a big thing.
And you're just beating the shit out of yourself.
Right. It's if you're thinking about stress to the system, right? Like the whole game is it's stress management. I'm trying to apply specific stresses to the system that will elicit specific results as I recover from them. Right, and so that gray zone, it's stressful enough that it adds stress to the system, right? Like if it's truly an easy cardio day, you're not really adding stress. In fact, you're going to finish feeling better. Like a good light cardio day you'll feel better at the end of it, right? So you're not really adding stress to the system while you're doing it, while you're still letting the heart and the lungs and everything go. When you're at that high intensity, you are adding stress to the system, but you're adding enough stress to where you're actually tripping the little responses that you want from the body. You're in that gray zone. You're not working hard enough to get those responses, but you're working hard enough to add stress to the system. And so that's the danger of it, is you're not getting good results from it, but you're giving yourself something that you now have to recover from. And so now you can't roll as hard. You don't have as much energy to put into your strength training and your other cardio training and stuff like that. So yeah, dude, I totally agree. That is a huge problem that people have. Like, and it goes back to that idea, like if I'm not breathing hard, then it's not jiu-jitsu specific. And so that's why like I've got to turn every fucking thing I do, including strength training, into some sort of cardio training. So yeah, it's a tough thing, man.
It is a tough thing
because it makes sense on the surface, but when you dig into it, you realize like, oh, wait a minute, there's more to it, and it doesn't make sense. So
yeah, I think you can kind of combat that by you have to go in with a focus. Like, what am I trying to improve in this session?
Yeah,
and if you don't go in with that, if you just say, hey, I'm doing some cardio today.
Or having a fucking plan, like a long-term plan. Yeah. See, that's the other problem, that everything works for 6 weeks, right? So that's kind of the problem, again, that you run into, is like somebody tries some sort of, they try CrossFit, or they try some, high-intensity interval training, Tabatas or whatever it is, and it worked. Well, yeah, it worked, because everything fucking works for 6 weeks, and then the body adapts to it. So it's like, but what you're looking for is, like, what will work consistently over time. Like you were saying, like you got to listen to your body, and you need to know, like, what is going to work over the long term. And that's actually one of the things that there's a book, Joel Jameson who's Mighty Mouse Johnson's strength and conditioning coach, and just a fucking brilliant guy, one of the top dudes in the field when it comes to cardio training and recovery and stuff like that. And he's got the book Ultimate MMA Conditioning, which I highly recommend. Like, if you really want to understand cardio training and you want to design the best stuff that you can, read that book. It's a super short book, super short.
I got yours at my house.
Yeah. But it is. It's a very thin book. Like, it's not one of these intimidating textbook type books. It's very easy read. But what he does is he really outlines like what the different types of cardio training and what the different types of intervals do for you, and then how you can structure them in a way to target specific things. So, for example, going 30 seconds on with 15 seconds rest we know it's different than 30 seconds on with a minute rest, but how is it different? And why would you use this one instead of the other one? And when would you use this one? Which would be better to use first? And according, what I need to work on, which one's better for me? And I think that's where, with the cardio training, especially the interval stuff, man, it's such a shotgun approach that people use with it, when it can be much more specific, and it can be much more structured, with your cardio training. So you can have an 8-week block where you're working on a specific type of cardio, and you've got these intervals and you've got these different cardio workouts that are progressively working along in a systematic manner. And that is a much more, like, if you're going to do cardio training, like, that's a much more intelligent way to do it than just, I got a cardio workout and I'm just going to smash myself with this same cardio workout till I'm bored of it, or I go online and find another one kind of thing. So, that's the having a more systematic approach to the cardio training, and understanding the differences between the types of intervals and what they do, I think is, again, something, I don't think people even really realize that you can.
They think cardio is cardio.
Yeah. That was really mine for me reading that. Again, I didn't learn anything new. I didn't come across. There were definitely some new things, but I mean, the bulk of the stuff you're gonna be like, oh, I recognize that interval style workout. Oh, I recognize that. But now you have a better understanding, oh, that's working this energy system in this way, and now this is working this energy system in this way, and that's why I would want to, progressively do this. And so, yeah, that's the thing, man. Just like with your strength training stuff, having a more systematic approach to it, I think is important. But yeah, that book, man.
Keeping the goal the goal.
Keeping the goal the goal.
We talked about that when we started talking about strength training with this whole podcast. Yeah, you having a plan and keeping the goal is going to keep you on track, and it gives you something to shoot for, not just a shotgun blast approach. Yeah, be more targeted.
Yeah. And you talk about that mental confidence too. There's a lot more confidence, I think, and you don't have to work as hard when you're confident in the approach, in the systematic approach that you're taking to get to where you want to be. That in 8 weeks, what your workouts are going to look like, and why they're going to look that way, and how they're going to ramp up and get harder as you go. And so then you have the mental confidence. You understand, I'm not going as hard as I can now, because that's going to allow me to go harder when it counts the most towards the end of this cycle. And so, again, it can definitely help on a lot of different ways. But that mental confidence thing, if the athlete believes in what they're doing, then that's the most important thing, for sure. So, yeah. So there you go. Cool. So
yes, let's get into your thoughts on the Tabata.
Okay.
So we talked about high intensity intervals.
Yes. I said beware of high intensity intervals.
Okay.
You want to be aware of them. The Tabatas, yes. I thought.
Hold on before you go. So for people who don't know,
yes,
what a Tabata cycle is 20-second sprint followed by a 10-second rest, and you do that 8 times. Is the official Tabata cycle, right?
Yes.
It ends up being 4 minutes or something worth of work.
Yep.
So that's what a Tabata is. If you want, there's a history behind it. Some doctor dude Tabata came.
Do you know the history?
I do. I've read it, but it wasn't important enough for me to commit it to memory.
See, but that's the problem. Is it is.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
And this is why everyone out there is fucking these things up to high heaven.
Right.
Okay? It drives me fucking nuts. In fact, here's the real history. The guy who introduced them to the fitness world was Dan John.
Okay.
He had a famous front squat Tabata workout. That was the first kind of introduction of Tabatas to the fitness world, as he had an article on T Nation talking about applying the Tabata protocol to front squats. And then everyone just started going fucking nuts with the 2010 protocol, and they're doing crunches and they're everything. It's like, hey, I just need to do something and do 2010 and do it 8 times, and that's Tabata. And it's like, you know, and he's even like, I've talked to him, and he's like, man, I feel bad that I unleashed that shit on the fitness world, because people have just gone off the rails with it, and they don't even understand what the fucking deal is. So this guy, he was a scientist, a Japanese sports scientist. The study was done on Olympic speed skaters. Okay, so we're already talking about like mutant athletes that are like, you know, the cream of the crop. They couldn't even finish the study. It was too intense. The athletes refused to complete the study. That's how hard you have to go during those 2010s to get the benefits that are the science showed that you get. Like one guy, Chad Waterbury, once described it like, if you're doing sprints and you're doing Tabatas, every sprint has to be like you're crossing a train bridge, and you're in the middle of the bridge and you hear the train coming, and you're not really sure you can make it to the other side before the train gets to you. That's how hard every effort has to be for all 8 of them to do Tabatas.
It's so tough. Like I've said a different analogy. Like when I'm telling somebody to do it, like you should be going like you have to save your mom's life. Like you know, like what's famous, you know, the air assault bike Tabatas are fucking terrifying, dude.
Yes.
And if you just get on that thing and you're trying to break that bike, you're trying to save your mom's life, good luck doing that 8 times in a row.
Yeah.
Dude, it is daunting when you think about it.
It is.
Like, because it's going to hurt so bad, dude.
Yeah.
Because you can do the first one, you can get away with. You do 20 seconds, you're like, 10 seconds goes. Your second one, it gets significantly worse. By the time you hit your third one,
yeah,
dude, your gas tank is getting empty. Like, if you're going that hard.
If you're doing it right.
If you're trying to kill yourself.
Right.
Like, if you're thinking, like, dude, there's nothing that's going to stop me. And you're just, whoa. Like, dude, it is.
Yeah.
To keep it up 8 times in a row.
It is damn near impossible. Yeah. And like I said, the study itself shows, like, it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
So, if you're not... And again, it has to be a full body, like big movements, like doing crunches, doing like isolation movements, like just doing something to 2010 definitely does. And it has to be, you know, like sprinting. The assault bike is great. Dan John's front squats were infamous. I mean, that's a big ass fucking total body movement as well. Like you need a big ass movement like that to do it. And man, if you're not doing a big full body movement and you're not pushing yourself that hard on every single one, then shut the fuck up. You're not doing Tabatas. You're just doing 20-10 intervals. And that's a different thing, man. It's a different thing. And you're not getting the same benefits that were scientifically shown through the Tabata method. So this idea that like all you need is Tabatas or, you know, the high intensity interval training is this panacea of cardio training. Again, it's like, well, a study show that plyometrics increase your vertical jump. Does that mean that all you want to do is plyometrics? No, you understand there's more, there's a bigger picture here that, you know, and you actually have to work your way into the plyometrics if you want to get the most out of the plyometrics. You don't just start with plyometrics. And the high intensity interval training is the same way. It's like, yeah, there's these studies that show that you get all these great benefits in like a 6-week study, going back to everything works for 6 weeks. But, you know, that's not the, ultimately what you're fucking looking for. So it's, anyways, kind of lost my train of thought there.
It's all good. So what are your thoughts on, I'll be interested to hear what you say about this and how ridiculous I am. Like, so there'll be days that I'm doing my endurance training. Like, let's just say the rower, for example. I like using the concept too.
Yeah.
The rower's a good machine. I like it. I'll set it up to do like 4,000 meters, you know, and that'll roughly take me 17 to 18 minutes, 17 minutes, 30 seconds, you know, and that's not trying to kill myself.
Yeah.
But it's what I'll do sometimes. I'll, because you get the timer on your little readout, like for 20 seconds, dude, I'll try to break that fucking rower. And then once that 20 seconds hit, I just go back to a casual pace until I feel I can talk again. I don't even pay attention to the time. Okay, I feel like I can talk again. And then I'll, boom, 20 seconds, try to break it. And I'll do that. I try to maintain that for the whole 4,000 meters.
Yeah.
I like doing that. It feels good. Or sometimes I'll be more structured about the rest. Like I'll go 10 seconds or I'll go 20. I'll vary my sprint, but let's just say 20 because we're talking about Tabata. I try to break that rower for 20 seconds. And then at the top of each minute, so I have 40 seconds rest.
Yeah.
And then I try to break the rower for 20. I got 40 seconds rest.
That's an aerobic interval.
Aerobic interval?
Yeah. See, so...
Wouldn't that be an anaerobic is like sprint, and aerobic is more long distance?
Well, no. Well, so here's the deal too, man. This is where like the Joel Jamieson stuff gets really fascinating. Is like you want a strong aerobic system. In fact, like when you look at the best athletes, they have the strongest aerobic energy systems, which means that they have to tap into their anaerobic energy systems the least, right? Because when you tap into your anaerobic energy system, you're creating metabolic byproducts, and it's kind of a dirty way of creating energy, right? So having a strong aerobic system, it's kind of a misnomer that it's always working. You know what I mean? Like even during a 100-meter dash, your aerobic energy system's still working. It's not like it's ever turned off. So when you're giving yourself more complete recovery, like you're doing 20 seconds with 40 seconds rest, and you're getting that more complete recovery, you're getting back to the point where you're saying like your breathing level and your heart rate's gotten down, you've allowed yourself to recover, and so now your body's working again from that full recovery state, right? And so now the aerobic energy system is back to where it's contributing the majority of the fuel. Basically, you're breathing through your nose. It corresponds pretty closely to that lactate threshold.
That's a good measure.
Yeah. When you start panting instead of being able to breathe through your nose, it's like you're saying instinctively. You're like, okay, when I can, breathe through my nose and carry on conversation. So what you're doing is you're letting your aerobic energy system catch back up, and then you're hitting it again, and then you're letting it catch up, and then you're hitting it again. When you're doing negative intervals, right, like so 20 seconds with 10, so like Tabatas, that's an anaerobic interval. The aerobic energy system isn't able to totally recover, and so you keep like taxing that anaerobic energy system in the face of incomplete recovery, which is taxing it more. When you're letting the aerobic energy system recover,
do its job
and recover, now when you start again, now you're taxing that aerobic energy system more than if you haven't let it recover and your body's just relying on that. So it increases the strength of the aerobic energy system's ability to support the anaerobic energy system in creating fuel. And so that's another thing. Like people think like the aerobic energy system is just there for easy efforts. No, it's there to.
It's a recovery.
It recovers exactly. Yeah, exactly.
If you have a good aerobic, that's where like the long, slow distance I think is important. Going on a long, semi-strenuous.
No, I mean like, in the moment. It's when you do a hard effort and you're breathing hard, it's your aerobic energy system that is responsible for getting rid of those metabolic byproducts or helping get rid of those metabolic byproducts and get the oxygen debt paid off. Okay. So and the faster that you can do that, the faster that you can recover, and the faster you can go hard again.
Okay.
So you see, it's not just like your easy efforts; it's also fueling the back end of your anaerobic energy system, and it's the strength of that. Like how well can it fuel efforts by itself, and then how well can it support you when you go into those anaerobic efforts? How quickly can it help you recover and support those? Those are two different things. And so when you are always doing the Tabatas, that's why I'm saying like the high intensity interval training, that they are generally anaerobic intervals exclusively. And so if you're not doing aerobic intervals and you're not doing the long, slow distance stuff, you are missing out on 2/3 of cardio training. And you're just focusing on this one little part of it because, there's some good studies that show that over the short term, focusing on that can have some pretty profound effects for people. But that, like I said, like
you're missing a big piece.
You're missing the big piece of the puzzle.
You can't have one without the other.
Right? Yeah. And see, it's just funny how you've instinctively, like we were talking about earlier, man. Like you instinctively fall on a lot of this stuff, and for you, sometimes the puzzle pieces click into place, so you're able to make better use of it. Right. But you do all of it. You go on hikes. You have your easy days. You instinctively started doing these aerobic intervals.
I've been doing the rowers, and I've been doing that shit for years. Because like I found that doing a true Tabata, do 10 seconds. You can't, after 10 seconds of rest, you're not nowhere near recovered enough to go.
No.
Death march style. Like you just can't. Like you peter out.
Yes,
dude, quickly.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just can't do it.
No.
I don't care who you're. If you're going to your max effort, whatever it is, 10 seconds, man, you barely have enough time to get your shit together to think about doing it again.
Yeah.
And like I say, I mean,
and that's what you're training though, right? And that's why you see like the aerobic benefits from those high intensity things, because your aerobic energy system's having to work so hard to support those efforts and stuff. But it's just one piece of the puzzle. Yeah. And if that's all you're focusing on, and again, it's like the plyometrics, like I was talking about earlier, like, man, you need to progress into the plyometrics. If you just come in day one and they just put you on plyometrics, you're going to get yourself fucking hurt, right? So like those super high intensity intervals, they need to be progressed into. So that's where like having the long, slow distance, the easy, the aerobic intervals that allow the more complete recovery come in, because they systematically build you up to the point where now you can safely handle and actually benefit from these super high intensity intervals, as opposed to just being like, oh, you want to improve your cardio? Okay, well, Tabatas. It's like, no, that's not. It's like fucking paleo for nutrition. You know what I mean? It's like, no.
I think it goes back to what we're talking about, is that people fall into like that black hole cardio zone, because most people, when you tell them to do a Tabata,
they're in that black hole.
They don't know how to push that hard, or because it fucking hurts.
It does. Well, dude, it's like the isometric that has shown us, right? Like tension creation is a skill. Your ability to push hard on a fucking interval is a skill, right? But then again, going back to like the pacing development strategy, guess what happens if you take someone who doesn't know how to push themselves hard on a bike, and you put them on there, and okay, you're going to start doing these anaerobic intervals with these negative rests, right? It hurts like a motherfucker, and they're going to learn to pace themselves to survive it. Whereas if you started them out with some aerobic intervals and they were doing 10 seconds as hard as you can, you get a minute rest. That's not that fucking, you know what I mean? Like most people,
that's a good place to start.
That's a good place to start, man. And like people mentally, they can push themselves hard during that 10 seconds because it's not super long. They know they've got a full minute to recover. Okay, so next week we're going to go 12 seconds on, 55 seconds rest. 15 seconds on, 50 seconds rest. And so you start getting them that way, and then you start getting closer to even work to rest ratios, and now we're going to fucking flip it. And now we're having more work to rest ratios. But they've mentally learned and gained the confidence to be able to actually go hard. Whereas, like, dude, it's like fucking, dude, if you put someone on Tabatas, it's like a white belt rolling with Kevin. You ain't learning shit. You're just surviving, and you're not getting anything, like, super beneficial out of it. So, yeah.
I've even found myself, like, doing Tabatas by myself in the garage on the air assault bike, the Airdyne. It's so hard to push yourself to that limit. You find yourself gaming the system, because then you're like, oh, I got 4 more rounds of this, and so you kind of quote unquote take an interval off.
Yeah,
you do it, but you're not trying to break the bike.
Yeah,
because it's scary. You're like, fuck, I have to do that sprint 4 more times. Whew, it's like, dude, because it hurts so bad.
Yeah,
and then once you're doing your last one, your number 8, you're like, dude, I could have went harder. You know what I mean? It's hard to do. It's hard to psych yourself up to do it.
Yeah, man. It's like when you're rolling and you're like, all I got to do is just give him this arm and it's over.
It's over.
And it's over. And then
I get a second to tie my belt and fix my gi.
Yeah.
Brazilian timeout.
But then, of course, when you do, you're like, fuck, I could have kept going.
Mad at yourself for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, but that's why you got to be careful with the high intensity interval training, man. It's hard mentally.
It's hard to go high intensity enough to get the benefits from.
Physically. Yeah, it's hard physically.
It's hard.
Yeah. So like, yeah. I mean, that's kind of my number one piece of advice for people is just don't don't try to turn everything into cardio training. And when you are doing cardio training, like, just beware of overuse of the high intensity intervals. Understand that aerobic intervals and long, slow distance stuff have a place as well. So, I mean,
well, there's been plenty of studies on it. Like, I was researching some of this stuff this week, but there's been plenty of research done on like high level, like the Olympic level marathoners or the Ironman triathlete, nut jobs that love doing that shit. There's been quite a few studies on those guys, and then some of the top performers, a lot of them are in that Pareto principle, whether their coaches design it for them, but they spend 80% of their time at that, basically a comfortable pace. 80% of their training at that, and then when they do that 20% at the high, like, it is a high intensity. It should be a daunting level of intensity to get the benefit from it. If it's not that level, you're not getting the most benefit out of it.
No, man, no.
You're beating yourself up more than you're doing yourself any good.
No, it's that easy stuff, like I said, that allows you to tax the cardio system to get the cardio system benefits without taxing the rest of the system so hard that you got to recover from it. And that's what they instinctively find out. And two, they're doing their sport, right? Like, that's the other thing that people forget, is that, well, runners don't run to improve their endurance. They run because it's their fucking sport. So for them, running is specific physical prep. For us, it's general physical prep. And again, that's where people, so they look like, oh, I want to get better endurance. So what do the best endurance athletes do? And it's like,
running. Well, that's their sport.
That's their fucking sport. But they do, and that's why, they spend a lot of that time, because it's developing the stride, that their nervous system just gets so efficient at running.
There's just technique there. There's a lot of
there's a lot of technique, right? And so they're spending 80% of that time at that low intensity level, so that they're working on that technique without stressing the system and having to recover from it. And then they're having the higher intensity stuff. And that's the same idea, that you want to try to figure out, how do we apply that to your jiu-jitsu training. That's really the trick. And that's why, again, going back to the beginning, like, jiu-jitsu is the best thing you can do, because it ticks all those boxes. But just understanding the problem, because I'm running the same problem with mountain biking. Like, it's hard to go on an easy mountain bike ride. It's just a certain level of intensity that goes into a climb and stuff like that. So having to understand, where do I get my easy stuff? Where does my easy cardio come from? And again, that's where like the aerobic intervals and the LSD stuff comes in. So it's not all just, like you said, people think they're fucking training hard. What is it? I read one time, like, if you think all of your training sessions are hard, none of them are hard. They're all just moderate. You just have no perspective on what hard really is, because it's impossible for every training session to be hard. So if that's what you think you're doing, I'm going in and training hard every time, and that's my fucking philosophy. It's like, no, you're in that black zone, that gray zone that we're talking about, and you don't even realize it. So it's
And on that note too, I would say, Grumpy Guy BJJ, we're talking to a lot of old grapplers out there. The old school mentality is, run. You got to go out and run to get your cardio. Man, dude, especially if you're running on pavement, dude, that just beats the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I go on trail runs, a hike. And I'll run, like, there's this mountain by us, Mount Garfield, dude, one of my favorite hikes. And then I'll run sections of it, but it's only 4 miles. And I'm not doing a ton of running, dude. I would much rather swim, air assault bike, concept 2 rower, something like just out running. Like, if that's not your sport, and jiu-jitsu's hard on our joints as it is, I'm not a huge fan of it, man.
Yeah,
it beats. I think it really beats the fuck out of you.
Yeah,
I think that there's more detriment to it than there is. There's benefit to it. Like I said, I do it a little bit, but I'm not, dude. I'm not.
I run for the skill of running.
Yeah,
not necessarily for like cardio training. Yeah. I agree. I think so. Yeah, for most people, I think that running, it can be good, but the bike or something like that is going to be a better cardio training option for you. And like you're saying, man, it just depends on where you're at. Like, man, if you're in your 20s, get the fuck out there and sprint, run, and keep up with your mobility work, and keep, like, the reason that we're in the shape that we're in with running is because like I wasn't consistent with running as I came up, you know what I mean? And I wasn't consistent with my mobility. Like there's a reason that running, you know, it doesn't, I don't want to use the word hurt, but if I use running for cardio training, like if I try to run hard, I definitely can feel it. And it's just because I don't have that skill, right? It's a specific skill that you gotta fucking learn how to do. And I'd encourage you to try to maintain that skill. Right? Like, so if you're listening to this and you're young enough, like start running, keep up with your mobility work, try to maintain that skill as you age. But yeah, man, if you find that it beats you up, jump on a fucking bike.
Yeah. Like, and I say that, but like I still do run. I think sprints are priceless, dude. Getting out, running wind sprints. I mean, my running technique is terrible. I look like I'm going to say something politically. I look like a retard out there running, dude. I'm terrible. I'm not fast, but it's good for me. You know, like I get out there and I'll run sprints. You know, I'll run hills.
Yeah.
I think they're great tools.
Yeah. There's just, from a human movement standpoint, there's a guy, God, I forget his name. He's a sprint coach that I've come across. But, you know, his whole deal is like running can actually fix a lot of low back and knee and hip problems, right? Like people think like, oh, I can't run because my knees and low back and stuff hurt, and it's like, well, maybe your knees and low back hurt because you can't run. And so like just getting back to where you can run will actually help fix those things, because your body will structurally have to get into a different space to be able to allow you to run efficiently. So yeah, it's definitely an important skill, but for a cardio training standpoint, because you got to push yourself so damn hard. And if you're not a runner, or like I used to be a runner, and so like we ran all the fucking time, but that was our sport. And so you don't want to be sore and beat up from running, because that's going to affect your jiu-jitsu. Going back to like the most important thing you can do is jiu-jitsu. So figuring out what you can push yourself hard on and not. I think that's where like, you know, the kettlebell stuff gets overused a lot. Not to beat up on my favorite whipping boy, but the kettlebell swing. It's like, dude, that is... Doing that every once in a while for some cardio training is all right, but man, that's a shit ton of stress you're putting on the system. So it's a lot of weight and load, and just jump on a fucking air assault bike and get after that.
Speaking of kettlebells, you should have seen the looks I was getting. So I went to my sister-in-law and my brother. They have a membership at a Lifetime Fitness in the town in Dallas they're at, and this gym is fucking huge, dude. Huge. I mean, one of the biggest gyms I've ever been in. Huge. And part of my workout, I was doing some Turkish get-ups with a kettlebell. They didn't have any sandbags or anything. I thought, I'll do some man, the looks I was getting.
Still in this day and age, it's crazy.
I was over there doing, because I did I hit the rower first, and I did like what I was talking about. Like I did, I think 5,000 meters that day. But again, I was just doing 20-second bursts, and I would just cruise until, all right, I feel good, boom, and I did that for all, like 20 minutes or whatever. So I was sweating pretty good, and so then I'm over there doing some Turkish get-ups and some other shit, and people just fucking looking at me, man. I got this puddle of sweat on the ground. I'm doing Turkish get-ups in this Globo gym, and people are just like, what in the fuck is this guy doing?
Funny, dude.
And I was cracking up.
Dude, that's the scare of the normals, man.
I was scaring a lot of normals that day.
Yeah.
It was great.
I told you, man, I'd get people, when I started coaching, they'd email me, they'd be like, people are staring at me funny, because I'd be having them doing Turkish get-ups and mobility work in the gym back in 2005 when fucking people still had never even seen a kettlebell. And I'm like, man, scare the normals.
Yeah.
That is funny, dude. It's just crazy. Like I said, we're in this circle, so we forget sometimes, like, we think things like Turkish get-ups and stuff are pretty fucking normal.
They're still not.
They are so not at all. The vast majority of people out there are still so lost when it comes to working out and what to do. And it's just crazy, man. It's crazy. So, yeah, going to a gym, you're a brave guy. I hate going to fucking commercial gyms.
I had to. It was a free guest pass.
Yeah, I know. You gotta do it every once in a while. I like to go into Gold's Gym here every once in a while just to fucking look around. I pretend like I'm gonna sign up for a membership just to get the tour.
Just to people watch.
Just to people watch and be like, oh man, they got a cardio cinema. Woohoo! I can watch a movie while I'm doing cardio.
Oh god!
Like right there, it's like, Jesus Christ, no, man.
Might as well serve popcorn and fucking juji fruit while they're at it.
Dude, I've been to gyms that have bars.
Oh yeah.
The good old like racquetball clubs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, dude, we gotta go train.
I think we do,
we
dude.
Gotta go train
Oh,
here.
yeah. Dude, it's 11:30. Yeah, we gotta get after it, dude. So, all right, man. So, I guess, like, conclusion with the cardio training stuff, like, jiu-jitsu's king.
Keep the goal, man.
Keep
just
the
like
goal
we say, everything. Jiu-jitsu's the best. And,
try not to overuse the high-intensity stuff.
Going with a plan.
Yeah, man. Have a plan. So, and, yeah.
That's it.
That is it, man. So, all right, brother. I guess that's fucking it. We're going to wrap it up. So, again, usual conclusion. You can find us on all the usual suspects, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher.
Leave us reviews, comments.
Leave us review and comments.
Please, reviews help, man, on iTunes.
Big time.
The 5-star, if you feel we've earned a 5-star review.
Yes.
If not, just swallow your morals and give us a 5-star review anyways.
Kevin said our jiu-jitsu is marginally okay.
Yep.
So
that's good.
Yeah, give us a review on Facebook.
If you give us a review, and just listening to us is gonna make you cooler, and it's gotta increase your jiu-jitsu by at least 10%.
At least 10%. So, something like that.
Especially if you give us a 5-star review.
Yeah. And Grumpy Guy BJJ at gmail.com if you got any questions, comments, suggestions for future episodes, anything like that. Love to hear from you. But yeah, so we're going to go get beat up by Pimenta and check back in next week.
Hell yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, it's fun doing it again, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Peace.